Welcome to YellBro Road. I am Jordan, and today we're gonna do like a couple of videos from Breaking Points. One will be about the Joe Kent Tucker Carlson interview, which we watched the whole thing of last night, but didn't record anything. So now we're gonna like review it through these people and see what they got, and also the a guy that's recommended quite a bit, John Mearsheimer, and his Israel U.S. foreign policy expertise. We'll see if it jives or not, you know? But first, don't forget to share support. Hopefully donate to all the links in the description box. Also, please check out the Discord link if you want to join that. All opinions are welcome. We're in there right now, see? We're there. And your opinion is very much valued unless you bring up tea and fucking biscuits every fucking day. Unless you do that, then it's not valued at all. You know. Inside joke, don't worry.
Earl Grey hot.
Or any spotted dicks. And obviously everything I show you will be linked in that same description box for you to look at on your own without us pausing, talking over the video, coughing, farting, doing fucking Bane voices, whatever annoys you, you can go watch it on your own. So do that. All right. Before we get into some of the Breaking Point videos, I want to start here with the very interesting statement from Donald Trump from yesterday. And we had a little, like, we were arguing about this. I'm like, it's kind of hard to see exactly what the fuck they're doing with this. Although you can see a community notes right here. Who knows if that's true or not, but we'll look at it after we read this. Israel, out of anger for what has taken place in the Middle East, has violently lashed out at a major facility known as South Par gas field in Iran. I hope I'm saying that right. South Par, whatever. South Park. A relatively small section of the whole has been hit. The United States knew nothing about this particular attack, and the country of Qatar was in no way, shape, or form involved with it, nor did it have any idea that it was going to happen. You can see him like kind of protecting them and, you know, pointing towards Israel, essentially. Unfortunately, Iran did not know this or any of the pertinent facts pertaining to the South Pars attack, and unjustifiably and unfairly attacked a portion of Qatar's LNG gas facility, natural gas facilities. He kind of pulls some blame from Iran too, where it's like, oh, they didn't know that this was not a U.S. venture, and when you attack Qatar, you're attacking an ally of the U.S., thinking like, oh, you guys are part of the U.S., we're going to bomb you too, I think is what is the rationale for this statement. So yeah, he's still pointing towards Israel, as you can see in the next sentence, in all caps. No more attacks will be made by Israel pertaining to this extremely important and valuable South Pars field unless Iran unwisely decides to attack a very innocent, in this case, Qatar, in which instance the United States of America, with or without the help or consent of Israel, make that very emphasized there, will massively blow up the entirety of the South Pars gas field at an amount of strength and power that Iran has never seen or witnessed before. So some people are speculating that that's more so about like, hey, when we run your country over, we're going to take your shit, and we don't want it blown up before we get there because it's going to cost money to do so. So we want like all your resource things like intact. Or you could be worried about, you know, Iran counterattacks in regards to like, hey, if it becomes like you destroy my energy, I destroy your energy, on and so forth, which would, I guess, apparently fuck the markets up, apparently. But either way, let's continue. Okay. I do not want to authorize this level of violence and destruction because of the long-term implications that it will have on the future of Iran. But if Qatar's LNG is again attacked, I will not hesitate to do so. Thank you for your blah. Interesting, and I'll add the little community notes thing here, which does not mean it's correct or true. And you can see their sources, Associated Press, Wall Street Journal, Axios. The U.S. was informed of the plan ahead of time and had no issue with it, according to American and Israeli officials. President Trump approved of the strike, U.S. officials said. to pressure Iran to unlock the Strait of Hormuz. So it's like I don't know what the fuck's going on here, to be honest with you. I don't fucking know. I have speculations in all these different directions, but I don't really know. Was it Israel by themselves? Was it the U.S. and Israel together? Was it a plan they both did, but it backfired? You know? As like, wait a minute, Iran will start hitting anything then, right? Maybe they thought, oh, if we bomb this, the South Pars gas field in Iran, they'll retaliate by hitting some of these like smaller energy resource places in Israel, right? Where they're not a big producer really at all, as far as I understand. But Iran's like, nah, we're gonna hit you where it hurts. We're gonna hit these guys right next to us. Like literally, like the Qatar place and Iran place are right next to each other. Like a part of the same like land territory. So I don't know, but I think it's important to read all that, and people are aware of a scenario that's out there. And this does come right after the Joe Kent interview with Tucker Carlson. So, and speaking of that, we'll get right into it. Fuck it. And we're gonna watch this through breaking points. Although we watched the entire like 2-hour thing yesterday. I'm basically here as like checking them to see what they cover or don't cover.
Some of us made it the whole way. Others, like Allie, totally left, abandoned ship toward the end. So did not make it all the way.
It was late. I understand. You know
Nope.
what? Hey, all right, fine. Fuck you, Allie.
She gets no credit. I already gave her shit for it.
Fair enough. Either way, the ones that did watch all of it will have enough information and context to kind of judge what Breaking Points does here. I know people get annoyed when you see reactors reacting to people that are reacting to something else, but I don't give a shit. I think it's worthy. And because of the whole Israel's doing everything idea, and also the go against the Trump administration idea, and right where commentators start looking for like kind of allies within some of these figures that exist, like a Joe Kent, they might start omitting certain things that happened in that interview or boosting Joe Kent up as like a kind of like a hero character, when in reality, in that interview, he was dick slobbering Donald Trump along with Tucker Carlson. That's what was happening, and that made me like very reassured that this guy is not trustworthy. And yes, by the way, I think he's in favor of taking out Iran. He's in favor of the war, but not on the surface, not in this way. That's basically his answer to things.
Yeah, just not on Israel's terms. It has to be done on the U.S.'s terms. Like the U.S. is the one who calls the shot. Why are we listening to Israel? Like that's kind of how he's reframing it.
Exactly.
From what I gathered.
Exactly. And also the time period of like how long you're going to stay there, how entangled will you get?
Yes, the duration. Yeah, wham bam, thank you ma'am, versus the prolonged long-term relationship.
If he could snap his finger and eviscerate the leadership of Iran, I think the guy would do it, according to what he sounds like, at least.
Yeah.
But either way, let's see the Breaking Points point of view. And just in case, I have 2 other clips here. If they don't bring it up, if Breaking Points doesn't bring it up, I'll play them, because it'll show you what we're talking about this guy, like, speaking out of both sides of his mouth while trying to, they're basically advertising the guy as a hero. Seemingly, like, on the internet right now. But either way, let's play Breaking Points. Here's a Magic 8 Ball and Sugar. Here we go.
Turning now to Tucker Carlson's interview.
Extremely loud. I left my volume up. Sorry, I was blasting music. All right, here we go.
With Joe Kent. So first we're going to start here with some news at the top. Let's put it up here on the screen. Breaking from Semaphore last night. Joe Kent is now under FBI investigation for allegedly leaking classified information. I'm told the investigation predates his departure. I'm sure it does. I'm sure that it does.
You called that one immediately saw
Somebody
her.
actually tweeted out a clip of our segment, and I checked the time. I think we recorded
And now
it
Kent's
8
stature
minutes
gets
after he
boosted even
resigned, and
more.
I was like, they're
Look
going
at
to
that.
indict him. And I know the playbook. You know why? Because it happened to Dan Caldwell. And what happened with Dan Caldwell? They accused him of being a leaker. He was fired. They drug his name through the mud. And just yesterday, it was announced that he's been completely cleared of all wrongdoing, and that the ODNI polygraphed and has restated his security clearance. He'll be allowed back into the government.
Incredible.
So just so you're all aware,
I just want to say
they said
that Joe Kent is also aware that they're dragging his name through the mud, and he even said, like, yeah, and I know they're just gonna have to drag my name through the mud, like I know how it works, as if it's like totally normal, like as if he's just accepted it. Because usually, like, the normal reaction to that would be like, oh my god, look what they're doing to me after I was being on, I was on their side.
Yeah.
I really respected this guy, whatever. Like, that would be the honest reaction, like, and look what they're doing to me now, oh my god. But he's like, no, like, I know they're gonna have to do this, as if he's almost in on it. That's what it seems like to me. I don't know.
To be honest with
What
you,
do I know?
I mean, kindergarten psychology can point out that, the use of kindergarten psychology with the audience has been very effective over many years, where you create a bad guy and they pick on someone else, and thus the audience sees them as a good guy now. And that could easily be the case with this Joe Kent guy, where same thing with Tucker, right? Like, oh my God, they're investigating Tucker, they're investigating Joe Kent, but all these guys are like, red-blooded Americans. They love America. How could they do this to these guys, right? And it ends up boosting the profile of these guys for potential candidacy, potential influencers on the internet or in media, on and on and so forth, because the audience will fall for these things and not critically think.
No, but usually, okay, but like that's fair. And they do that in wrestling, right? With like the concept of the heel and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Like where they'll like, build people up, tear them down, whatever. But usually there's some sort of acting with that, like, right? Like Joe Kent would be like, oh my God, like, I can't believe they're doing this. You would try to like play along with it. What's weird to me is that like, you're just acting like this is totally like, this is kind of just the norm, I guess. And Tucker Carlson did the same thing on Piers Morgan's show, when Piers was like, oh, look what Trump said about you. And he played it for him or read the tweet or something. And he's like, oh yeah, that's just Trump. I don't hold that against him. Like, that's just, he's just like lashing out. But like, I still like Trump. I still want to, maintain our relationship. It's just weird. It's weird.
Yeah.
It's like he does the same thing in their position, right? Like,
Yeah.
he's a part of it.
Yeah.
I'll say that
I don't know.
Kent seems to, the few times I've seen him, he seems to play the stoic character, if you will.
Yeah.
The man's man type of person. Very stoic,
Yeah.
very operational in his thinking and all that shit. Like, remember they were talking about his wife? I'm like, dude, like, why do you sound like a robot? Or like you're, taking orders from a general or some shit. Isn't it about your wife? Isn't that like heartbreaking for you or anything like that? Like, I didn't see any like fighting
Or
back.
when he asked him, like,
emotion.
what do you live for? Remember? He was like, oh, faith, country, my first wife, second wife, my relationship, God. I don't know. It was just some vague kind of nothing.
Politician sounding
answers.
thing.
Yeah.
I love my guns. I love my country. Like, okay.
I don't know, but it's just like a common denominator. Even if they're doing it differently, it's like this kind of deflecting of any kind of incongruencies, I suppose, with like the reality of the matter, with like what's going on with Trump and then their so-called relationship. It's kind of this way of being like, oh, it's not a big deal. Like, just downplay. Like, are y'all not hip to this? I don't know. Like, you do not peep game? Like,
and that's why I have those two clips in reservation in case these guys don't go over it, because whether they could be full shot artists for all I know. I'll leave that open for that possibility. They could be dupes that, oh my God, they're attacking him. He must be a good guy. So let's
exactly. But it's just like, it's like even this headline, like Joe Kent under FBI investigation. It's more pissed off about the whole thing than probably Joe Kent, who literally said, oh yeah, they're going to drag my name through the mud. But like, whatever. Like, it's just what it is. But, at the end of the day, and how did he end the entire podcast? At the end of the day, Trump is the one that's really capable of doing the right thing here. Like, it's Joe Biden couldn't have done it. Trump is the greatest man I've ever met in my life. It's just like, what?
And that's
The
why I
man that
have
you're
those
saying is
clips
like,
ready. That is exactly
yeah,
why.
sorry. Go ahead.
Uh,
Just
it's, I mean, let's see if they actually go. It just doesn't seem like that's going to be the case. It just seems like they're gonna fucking kiss ass basically, and because that's where the PR demands you to go is hold him up as a hero. This
and
guy's
Crystal has
calling
to go
Trump a
along with
hero.
it, right? Because
Yeah.
it's anti-Trump. So it's like, yeah, look what Trump does, even to his own loyalists. Like, look what MAGA does. Your days are numbered. Come to the Democratic Party. Like, you know what I mean? It's just holding her fucking lemonade in her Sunday dress. Like, God, come join us. Come. Like, no, I don't want your plastic pie. I don't want your lemonade.
What did I tell you about the fucking that CNN thing? I don't know if you're here actually, but the CNN thing where it's like 100% of MAGA supports Donald Trump, right?
Oh my God, Mark Levin played that on his show
Of course,
as like evidence that he was like, "See, look, 100."
Yeah, and Cal used it, at least in a tweet. He used it to say like, "Look,
Yeah.
see, look, you can't side with those guys. They're all crazy MAGA people." I'm like, couldn't these polls be like bullshit or
Like,
whatever?
there's no such thing as 100%. You don't get. That's not. Even if it's like the most skewed thing, you would have to throw it like 100% approval. It's a joke.
I'll trust the polls.
The fucking
Percent of those people didn't even know that poll existed.
It's clearly bullshit, but Cal's like, this is an opportunity.
Obviously.
Let me take it.
Of course.
And Mark Levin's
Look,
like, this is an opportunity.
Yeah, they're
Let's take it.
deranged.
Look at all these patriots out there. See, Trump is winning more than ever. That'd be the Mark Levin side. Right?
Oh, absolutely. That is what he was saying, because he like cited the reel and I guess it was a CNN or Fox News. I don't know where it was, but then I actually went up and looked up the video because I wanted to see. I'm like, what is he talking? Like, what is this? And it was like a real thing where there was like, oh, look at this, undeniable, 100%. What?
See, look, CNN reported it. It must be true then, because they wouldn't report that unless, same old thing. And then obviously any type of like, even if it was like
just too stupid to even like, you know what I mean? Like, this is so dumb. This is like embarrassing.
It's the same thing as the 90% to 10% thing, where they'd probably say something like, well, those 10%, like, see, Tucker Carlson, you only have like 10%. They're not with you. They're with Trump. It's like
100%. You little bastard.
You bastard. All right, let's play breaking points. Let's see where they go. I'm judging harshly. Let's find out. Here we go.
He stated his security clearances will be allowed back into the government.
Incredible.
So just so you're all aware about the last time they said somebody with some anti-war sympathies and accused him of being a leaker. This is obviously complete bullshit. FBI, Keystone Cash, and all of these other people claiming that this is some, a leak. Listen, I knew it was coming.
One of the leaks they're investigating is about Mark Levin.
Joe
is the funny part.
Wait, which leak?
One of the supposed leaks that Joe Kent leaked or whatever. One of the pieces of information that he leaked was that Mark Levin was meeting with Trump, because how else could Tucker have known?
Okay. I think I heard
that's
that.
one of them. Then another is like something with Iran, but I think that's more Tucker focused. But apparently it was, like that he's like sharing information with Tucker specifically. And I think it started with Mark Levin, like patient zero. And he said, he's like, and everybody will remember, I said this several weeks ago on my show. There's a leak. There's a snake around. It's just like, wow. Okay. So, that's the leak that they're talking about.
I would love to see your 2025 YouTube in review thing, or it's just like Mark Levin. YouTube's gonna start recommending like Mark Levin playlists to you and shit. Like, all right.
I like to listen to what he plays on the radio. I don't give a shit about his YouTube. I want to know, what are you saying on the fucking radio where you're syndicated? That's what I'm interested in. But yeah,
that guy's out of his fucking mind. But all right. Let's keep playing. Let's see where this goes. Here we go.
Too important. He's too important. He's the biggest voice. Historically, no sub-cabinet official, remember, Senate confirmed, has ever resigned in protest over a war, like not in Vietnam, not in Iraq.
Here's
I mean,
the
this
dick
is
riding.
Daniel Ellsberg level of coming out and the courage to do so. I mean, look, Ellsberg, who I love, but he waited until the 1970s to come out. We're talking about in the mix.
Yeah.
Said this is a nightmare, a disaster, and I cannot in good conscience.
Once again, once you hear more context of the actual interview between Joe Kent and Tucker Carlson, you're going to see, like, this isn't some moral thing. It's more so he's making it about Israel, essentially. Let's be honest. He's making it about Israel. He's okay with blowing up the mullahs and the fucking ayatollahs and shit like that, right? He's okay with that. He's okay with war against Iran and fucking them up. But, you know, like Seb said, he doesn't want Israel being the guiding hand, at least in words.
Yeah, he wants it on like American terms. And remember, another thing that he was fighting in terms of, or like covering for America for, was the bombing of the school, where he said, "Oh, and yeah, the U.S. doesn't do that. We don't conduct the wars that way. The Israelis, they do it differently. They have a different way of conducting wars, and they have different rules of engagement.
Yeah.
And sometimes they're not so clear with those rules of engagement with us, and that's why they're always, causing destruction. I mean, look at Gaza. But yeah, America doesn't do that. That's just not really like in our culture."
I think I broke out laughing when I was saying shit like that. It's just like,
Yeah.
are you fucking kidding me? Have you seen?
And I'm not like, am I
US
making any of that
style?
up? Like, he basically said that, right? Like,
Yes.
he might have used different words, but like that was like,
Yeah.
that was the argument, like point blank. Like,
He did PR for the United States of America, essentially, in that interview, along with the personnel, mainly, like, obviously, like the Donald Trump White House.
Yep.
But all right.
the most capable president of my lifetime ever. So decisive.
Just really smart fucking deal maker. He's really good at it.
Art of the deal. I mean, the art of the deal. Everybody's read that. Of course.
But Sugar here is calling this the most. Oh my God, we haven't seen anything like this. This guy resigned over this stuff. Crazy. And they're making it sound like it's about having a conscience about what the U.S. does in foreign policy. Like, no, it's fucking not. Joe Kent sat through enough in regards to his stint as a part of counterintelligence. He sat through enough atrocities by the U.S. and U.S. allies that the U.S. was funding throughout all this stuff. He sat through all this shit. And now he's like, well, you know what? I'm out of here. And you know what? It was Israel. That's why I quit. Fucking Israel. But Trump's being duped and dragged. All right, here we go.
Reminds me of some of like the Watergate resignations,
Yeah.
like that kind of parallel.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
they,
the Watergate.
I don't believe this administration, and I think you're probably right that the allegations are complete bullshit that he was a leaker. If he did leak, though, I wouldn't blame him. I mean, he was banging his head against the wall, watching according to, what he said and what Marco Rubio and others have basically confirmed, that
Marco
watching
Rubio.
Israelis come in and lie to the president about what an imminent threat Iran is, blah, blah, blah. There was, according to
And why would he just
Kat, and we'll
listen to
play these clips for you in a moment, there was a lot of debate leading up to the 12-day war, leading up to this one. Anyone who would have been a dissenting
Marco Rubio
voice was
wasn't
just
really saying
completely
that,
and
though.
utterly shut out.
Wasn't.
So
Yeah.
if he wanted to try to influence the president, his only path would have been to go to the press. So again, I'm not saying he did that. I remain very skeptical of these claims. But if he did, I would see that as, a patriotic act of him trying to prevent what he knew to be a disastrous war, trying to get around, this wall that had been built. And, Trump is responsible for the fact, by the way, that wall is built and that he surrounded himself with complete sycophants who were just telling him what he wanted to hear about how great this war would be and how easy it would be and how the regime would topple immediately, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah, so let's get actually into some of the clips here from the interview. E2, let's start with this declarative statement
Cut to,
from a man with the highest security clearance in the United States government, National Counterterrorism Director as of a couple of days ago. Iran was not an imminent threat to the United States. Let's take a listen.
Was Iran
Yeah, they're lying.
on the verge of getting a nuclear weapon?
No, they weren't. 3 weeks ago when this started, and they weren't in June either. I mean, the Iranians have had a religious ruling, a fatwa, against actually developing a nuclear weapon since 2004. That's been in place since 2004.
Memorize factoids.
That's
Got
available
it.
in the public sphere. But then also we had no intelligence to indicate that fatwa was being disobeyed or it was on the cusp of being lifted. The Iranian strategy, it's actually pretty pragmatic. The Iranians are obviously aware of what's taking place in their region, and their strategy was to not completely abandon their nuclear program because they saw what happened to Muammar Gaddafi in Libya.
Apparently, this guy was a
When
Bernie.
he said, "Hey, I've got no more nukes. I'll do what you say. I'll give up my nukes."
And we gave him the Nobel Peace Prize.
Yeah, we regime changed
Apparently.
him, and he was executed by his own people in the most.
I didn't know that.
He was a Bernie bro.
Apparently, that's what Mark Levin said. I have no idea if it's true, but
Yeah.
apparently he voted for Bernie in 2020. Like he was a Bernie supporter until he turned to Trump. He was one of those like Bernie to Trump.
Yeah.
Apparently, I never looked into it before. But
Shot the
yeah.
Obeth.
Like, oh, okay, yeah, exactly.
And by the way, this guy wasn't
Brothers in arms.
he he was running the counterintelligence thing within the intelligence community, right? He was like the head of it.
Yeah.
And it's like,
He's the second in command of Tulsi Gabbard, right?
but he leaves, right? He leaves, and then he comes to the public, and he's just saying things that we've already heard, instead of the guy who runs counter that should know a lot more, right? Read about like top secret, just straight up, just information. He should just know more about it. Instead, he's saying the same things we've already heard. Oh, they issued a fatwa, so Iran wouldn't develop nuclear weapons because they decided, because whatever. The leader said we're not going to do that, yada, yada, yada. And it's like, we heard that
People can
already.
be like, no one else is talking like this on the mainstream media.
I know, to just compare themselves to the weaker, low-hanging fruit assholes.
Yeah. Like, you're not going to hear this anywhere else. Bill Maher's not going to tell you about that. So,
All right.
Okay.
There we go.
To not completely abandon their nuclear program because they saw what happened to Muammar Gaddafi in Libya.
Another thing we've heard.
When he said, "Hey, I've got no more nukes.
Yeah,
I'll do what
another
you say.
talking point.
I'll give up my nukes."
And we gave him the Nobel Peace Prize.
Yeah, we regime changed him, and he was executed by his own people in the most horrific way.
That was actually like really led by the French.
The Iranians'
kind of interesting.
position, when viewed from the lens of,
because they were the ones who called
was
for the
actually
no-fly
fairly
zone
pragmatic. They were
and begged the
preventing,
U.S. just from
developing bombs
in their
but they
world,
still
like
wanted the ability. They wanted the ability to enrich. They wanted the ability to have some components.
That was
so
more of like
they
a French
weren't
operation.
completely
But for some
stripped
reason,
of it. And when we always assess that they were either
Hillary
several
gets
months or
credit
a year,
only.
2 years away from actually being able
Give
to
the French
develop
some credit.
a nuclear weapon, and that's not because the Iranians are stupid people. I think we can.
I sound
we
like
can tell
Candace
right
now. I was talking about the French before
Iranians
Candace.
are anything but stupid. They had the ability.
I was
think,
talking about French
the brain
intelligence
power to
before
actually
Candace.
develop one, or
That
they could
bitch
simply
stole my
traded
shit.
a ton of oil with Pakistan or someone else to actually get a nuclear weapon. They were not doing that. We had no intelligence to indicate that they were.
Does that sound like a bunch of religious fanatics who don't think, or what do they say? They're a theocracy. They want the end times. They hate us all very much. What do you hear from that?
Also
Highly pragmatic.
Mm-hmm.
You have people who respond to circumstances, thought very deeply about the types of decisions they were making, but most importantly, no
Probably not that
imminent
deeply.
threat.
Yeah.
No imminent threat. Okay, so what they said is BS. Complete.
Well, the thing is, we won't fucking know because these guys did all these actions already. So how would you even know what Iranian actions may or may not be? We wouldn't know because all the fucking buildup, all the things that happened before the 12-day war or this new conflict, all of it was built already. We saw the actions being taken. So we can't even say we know the intentions of Iran because it seems like the U.S., along with their allies, preemptively went after them, or at least on paper. And it's just like, what do we do as viewers? And our counterintelligence guy is just giving us shit you can find on Twitter. By scrolling for a couple hours, you'll find this already. So I'm like, what is going on here? But yeah, either way, like, what's the point of knocking down the events, but building up the guys that are doing the events, except for Netanyahu, of course? What do we get out of that? And then you have the so-called, the quote-unquote independent media are just going with it. Where's the questioning at, guys? No questions for anyone?
Uncritically.
Yeah, like, did you even watch the episode, or did you just see clips that your producers picked up? I don't know. All right. Let's keep playing. Here we go.
Completely. And I know that might be obvious to the viewers of our show in the hopes that this reaches many, many people. Remember that the Pentagon, the White House press secretary, the President of the United States, the Secretary of State, all of them have said that this is an imminent threat. And as Kent explains very clearly, the only imminent threat was Israel's imminent threat to the country of Iran, who was then going to attack Israel and, yes, the United States of America bases, which protects Israel. And as a result, we had to go in and preemptively strike Israel's preemption. When you put it that way, it's a real different imminent threat, isn't it?
Yeah.
And I think that, you know, coming out of the mouth of somebody who had access to the intelligence, who was in the room, not for this one, but for the previous one on Midnight
You guys
Hammer,
reported it
and
to
he went through
people that
some of
before
that,
he did.
I just have no other conclusion.
You need inside
than,
information
like,
to know
you
that.
have a president who is
Everything
completely
you said, like-
captured here by Israeli interests and logic, and for whatever reason, he refuses to, you know, to say no, as Kent says, is an option. And I'm not blaming Israel. Like, yeah, it's their fault too. But I'm saying Trump is incapable of doing this.
Yeah.
He is incapable.
Wait, what? He's incapable. Or are you saying like
He's
that's
And
incapable
he has
of
now
saying
shown us that.
no.
And
He said
if
he
you
was
listen to this
capable
interview,
of saying
and
no.
we're about to get to
Oh,
using
Dubster, I'm so
their
glad you're
fault too,
here.
as Kent says, is an option. And I'm not blaming
Hello,
Israel. Like,
Dubster.
yeah, it's their fault too. But I'm saying
Thank you. I'm
Trump
glad you're here
is
too.
incapable of doing this.
Yeah.
He is
I
incapable.
haven't heard your
And
voice
he has
in a
now
while.
shown us that. And
Still
if you
sounds
listen
whiny.
to this interview, and we're about to get to even some more shocking stuff around Charlie Kirk and all of that, like, I do not have another conclusion than that. That is
Yeah.
the only conclusion I can draw.
Well-
He's terrified. He's either terrified or he agrees. I don't know what's worse.
Right.
I prefer
okay? So he's saying is scared into it. I mean, even the thing he said was just straight from Marco Rubio as an answer for all this. That like, hey, Israel's going to attack Iran. Iran was going to retaliate against Israel and all the U.S. bases surrounding them. I don't know that to be the case because we had a sample. We had the 12-day war thing, right? Where Israel attacked Iran. Iran responded to Israel. And that was it. They're going back and forth with each other. Pause. And then the U.S. bombed them. And then Iran attacked a U.S. base. And UAE, right? UAE? They missed. They basically missed, right? Seemingly on purpose. So that's the only example I have of, like, if the U.S. does nothing. I mean, they were involved, but, like, I mean, like, where they actually shoot weapons themselves at Iran. We don't have that example where the U.S. doesn't do that, doesn't shoot weapons at Iran, and Iran starts attacking all the shit around them, like they're doing now. All the U.S. bases and Israel. We don't. How are we supposed to know that? All we can rely on is the word of Marco fucking Rubio. That Israel went out of their way, rogue, to bomb Iran, and the U.S. knew it. Right? They had inside information. They fucking knew that was going to happen. So, like, oh, okay, Iran is an imminent threat. Let's bomb with Israel. I don't know why we're taking his word for that at all. But we're here. So, okay, sugar. Let's keep going.
terrified. Because
Well,
at least
and
maybe
we
we could get out of that.
We still see Trump parroting these insane Israeli talking points. It was deeply disturbing to me when he said that the pro-government demonstrations in the
fake.
street,
Yep.
that they were fake, that they were AI. And look, I don't know what he believes and what are lies or whatever. But it seemed to me like he actually believed that, or at least he believed it had enough credibility to report,
So he was tricked.
repeat it to the
Got it.
American public. That comes directly from the Israelis. So there's
Everyone's
no doubt,
saying-
the
they're all
influence
saying
campaign
it.
that they successfully
That's
launched.
so fucking worrying to me. No one's questioning that idea. Like, hey, maybe even like the Kirsten will be considered a lefty, right? Left leaning or whatever the fuck. And she's going with the same idea. At least on this show, she's going with the same idea. Like, yeah, it's Israel doing all this, and Trump is a dupe. He's being played. And what's her reason for that? Isn't she supposed to dislike Trump? Like, even her as like
Funny how that works, right?
her as a personality is supposed to be that way, right? Forget about being like left or right. Just her personality is supposed to be like.
That's That's what she plays on TV.
Well, it's just weird because,
Mm.
like, what I see is like, yeah, these guys are part. Like, how many years can you be duped for? How many years? How many like blatant things you do? Let's say all of Trump's actions in regards to foreign policy were based on Israel, right, or at least in the Middle East. Let's say that was the case. How is like, how does all these years of this? He's like, damn. Israel's still correct with all the fuck ups, all the backlash from constituents and other politicians that claim to be loyal to Trump. Like, hey, why are you doing this? Friends like Tucker that visit the White House that talk about it all the fucking time. Look what Israel's doing. They're trying to trick him. All these years of that, and he's still like being tricked by them. That's hard to believe, man. That's very hard to believe. But they're all selling it. They're all selling that idea. And it's like, guys, if Israel goes away, if Israel's taken out, I expect the same corrupt actions. I do. I don't know why we would think differently in regards to that. I don't see the evidence for that being. We've seen all of U.S. history and foreign policy and shit. We've seen all that. Like, there's blatant corruption over many generations. Over different administrations, different congressmen. We've seen these corruptions, and they're like, no, the reason why all these things happen is fucking Israel, duh. I can't believe it. Even the opposition's saying the same, like, if she's like the part of the opposition, right? Maybe not the full representative of it. But like, she's part of the opposition, still saying, yeah, it's Israel. Fucking brilliant, man. I'm wrecked by that, but all right, let's keep going. Our new hero, Joe Kent, is here. Here we go.
Here. And I want to pair this, Joe Kent's comments there about how no imminent threat, no, they were not developing a nuclear weapon. That is not
real fast. We read the Trump thing first. Like, this was Israel. We had nothing to do with this. Israel did this. Okay. And like, that's Trump's fucking Truth Social comment. He's saying it's Israel. They did it. He took blame away from Iran and Qatar. Like, they had nothing to do with it. Like, Iran thought we were involved, but thought Qatar was involved, but they weren't. It was Israel by themselves. They did that on their own. We had nothing to do with this.
Are you talking about that refinery they shot at?
Yeah.
Hit part of?
Yeah, South Pars or South Par or whatever it's called.
Okay.
And Iran responded by hitting some natural gas places of Qatar's, right? And then Trump puts out a fucking Truth Social saying, like, listen, the U.S. had nothing to do with this. That was Israel.
Chill, Mo.
That was Israel doing that. We had nothing to do with that shit.
Like, don't be doing that.
And this is after the fact. Once this is from today, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
Fucking 8 hours ago. So they are aware of that. But they're still just saying, like, no, it is Israel just driving this guy around. Okay. All right, here we go.
Campaign that they successfully launched here. And I want to pair this, Joe Kent's comments there about how no imminent threat, no, they were not developing a nuclear weapon. That is not what we assessed at all. With Tulsi Gabbard's testimony yesterday, where she was asked about this as well. John Ossoff pressed her on, listen, you said last summer this nuclear threat was obliterated, that their nuclear program was obliterated. So what's going on here? This is D1. Let's listen to that.
That opening statement, as submitted to the committee in advance of this hearing, stated that as a result of last summer's airstrikes,
I need a film crew.
Quote, Iran's nuclear enrichment program was obliterated, end quote, correct?
That's right.
Is that in fact the assessment of the intelligence community?
Yes.
So the assessment of the intelligence community is that Iran's nuclear enrichment program was obliterated by last summer's airstrikes?
Yes.
In the opening statement you submitted to the committee last night also stated, quote, there has been no effort since then to try to rebuild their enrichment capability, end quote, correct?
That's right.
And that's the assessment of the intelligence community.
Yes.
The White House stated on March 1st of this year that this war was launched and was, quote, a military campaign to eliminate the imminent nuclear threat posed by the Iranian regime, end quote. That's a statement from the White House. Quote, the imminent nuclear threat posed by the Iranian regime. Was it the assessment of the intelligence community that there was an imminent nuclear threat posed by the Iranian regime?
The intelligence community assessed that Iran maintained the intention to rebuild and to continue to grow their nuclear enrichment capability.
Was it the assessment of the intelligence community that there was a, quote, imminent nuclear threat posed by the Iranian regime, yes or no?
Senator, the only person who can determine what is and is not an imminent threat is the president.
False.
So she won't say it. She's
That's your job.
Oh my dear fucking lord.
Wait, I can't determine what an imminent threat is in my presence.
Well, she's literally, it's in the name. Intelligence.
No, but just think about that for you. I
guess it's
determine because
intelligence, but
I'm
not
the
judgment.
president.
She's like, well, I collect information, I collect the data, and then didn't he say that Donald Trump was a great data processor or something?
Yeah.
Like he's that's a superhero. That's a superpower. And then Donald Trump, he makes the judgment. Like I just give him the information. I give the intelligence, just pure information, and then he takes that and he makes the judgment. I presume that that's probably the narrative she's going with, which is stupid. It is stupid. Like because even by giving the information, you're still going to frame it in such a way, or you know what information you're going to collect. Like there's always going to be some sort of like narrative that you paint, even with your quote unquote data.
Sure, but like I'm sure they would say like.
It also takes away.
God.
It also takes away the individual's ability to assess what's in front of them, besides the president.
Yeah, but wouldn't
all
they?
All the way down to a janitor in a building that might be getting shot up. You get what I mean? Oh, yeah, that's an imminent threat.
Sure.
The building I'm in is getting shot at.
Sure, but
she's just lying because of the contradiction. Like he presented it very cleanly. Like,
yeah,
okay, you're seeing that there's no threat, but the White House said there was a threat. So she's trying to like fit within that to answer. What she's really saying, yes, is that the president made the decision. But,
yeah, and I trust him. So.
But they literally do threat assessments, right? That's their job. They do threat assessments.
They can change definitions of assessment.
Fair enough.
I'm just saying they can. They can just be like, no, it's always been like this. You don't know what you're talking about.
Also, just want to add this: the congressperson there that was asking the questions, like, those are like, once again, like, why are you holding that position? Like, do you have like a team and staffers and researchers to come up like regular people? Like, we were already saying these questions, like, wait a minute, you said you obliterated it, but now you're going like, now you want to like, go like imminent threat and let's preemptively bomb them because of that imminent threat. And it's like, but like that's all the guy could come up with as a question. You could ask more to put her on. Like, okay, listen, guys, this lady's a liar. So like it's why not make that the case off rip instead of saying like kind of like I don't know like gotchas that were easily figured out on the internet well before that guy asked it.
It also traps them in the idea of consistency. Let's say tomorrow somebody attacks one of our subs and the admiral in charge of that sub has to fight back. And they ask, that becomes some Congress issue. And then somebody's got a gotcha question. I thought you said President Trump was the only one that couldn't discern whether something's an imminent threat. So doesn't that mean this admiral was in the wrong for returning fire or being attacked? It takes away everybody's ability to, like, all responsibility is all the way to Trump, but then nobody has any autonomy to make decisions on the fly if you want to be consistent tomorrow with the next issue that comes up.
Yeah, but the point is that she's lying. That's why her answer was her answer. That's the point of it.
Sure. Yeah, I got you. But I'm saying that's another way to think about the level of absurdity she's going to with this.
Yeah.
She looks like really just miserable,
Depressed.
honestly. Like, holy shit. Yeah. Like, it's just very melancholy. Like, this is like,
Yeah.
oh, whew. Lord.
All right, I'll do this little meeting
That
thing.
position.
Then I'm gonna go hide in an office for the next several
It's-
months. So I'm wheeled out again to fucking.
Well, it's just like Trump makes like his little mess or whatever, and then she goes to clean it up. It's like,
Yeah.
Whatever, clean up her Marco Rubio. He's fucking Consuelo with like how many jobs they give him? They're like, it's so disrespectful, honestly.
Hashtag worth it. Now you guys can run for president. Look at that. Congratulations, guys. You fucking won. You won, didn't you?
Poor little Marco.
All right, let's continue. Here we go.
Oh, well, that's not really my job. That's up to the president.
The only person who can determine imminent threat is the president. No, not
that's
true.
Literally your job.
Yes.
That is your job, is to determine, which she knows. She knows, but she's unwilling to just outright lie. So she dodges by saying, well, the president in all his brilliance and glory and magnificence, he's the one that we have to defer to. And only he can really, with his magical abilities, can really determine whether this was a threat to the United States.
Lying, Crystal.
And I want to emphasize one other aspect of the testimony there in the exchange with John Ossoff. He says, in your written testimony, you talked about how there had been no efforts since the nuclear enrichment was supposedly obliterated to try to rebuild their enrichment capability. That was in the written testimony. She chose not to say that when she actually gave her opening statement. That was omitted because, again, that's very uncomfortable for this administration in all of their many layered lies and rationales for why we're now in this disaster.
Yeah, and she's actually literally testifying as you and I are talking, and she just continues to say, she's like, the ODNI is not my personal view. This is the view of the intelligence community, and the president is the one who can make the imminent threat decision. Now, to the point that I made earlier about Israeli capture, Joe went into great detail about what that looked like inside the information environment in the lead up to this war. Let's take a listen.
But I know how this works. I know the Israeli officials, some in intelligence, some in government, will come to U.S. government officials, and they will say all kinds of things that we know from our intelligence just simply isn't true. And they'll say, hey, I'm giving you a preview. It's not in intelligence channels yet, but here's what's going to happen. And that doesn't usually come to
Wait a second. I mean, I thought that U.S. policymakers made their decisions on the basis of intelligence collected and or vetted by our intelligence. That's why we have intelligence agencies that soak up hundreds of billions a year. But you're saying that Israeli officials short-circuited the entire U.S. government and just went right to American policymakers and said,
sounds stupid, doesn't it?
It doesn't matter what your country says. Here's what we know. Is that what you're saying?
I mean, usually they're pretty slick, and
of course.
And they'll say, "Hey, this isn't in intelligence
shifty.
because it's
They're
going to take some
shifty,
time
huh?
to get there." And here they're on the cusp of building a bomb. You know, they're.
I'm not
going
over here,
to-
like, sorry,
I
just
don't know,
to say this, I'm not over here looking for somebody to be like, oh, you're using coded language. But there's just certain things that they make me go, okay. Like, is that just the Israelis? Like, it's almost this, like, kind of superhuman, like, you're, like, almost mystifying them.
Yeah. No, they are doing that.
What did he?
So I'm listening to this guy. He's being presented as some kind of revealing person, like a truth-telling, person here. But he just said that, like we're spending like a trillion a year on military, right? And he's saying somebody could just short circuit this and they could just basically control it. Now, I know that he's saying it to like, look, these guys, it's Israel, right? But that's another country. That's like they're gonna do what they're gonna do. But with all of our government and all of the money that we put into this, we're also just like what's going on? Like don't we have any accountability ourselves? Like we don't have any responsibility for what we do. That's like that doesn't make any sense.
No, it doesn't make any sense. But I think just honest, I think it's just blatantly patently obvious, and forgive me for sounding conspiratorial about it, but like, it seems like some creepy crawly motherfuckers are working backwards from where they want to end up at. Meaning, if it could be, if I like a janitor, as you said before, like it could be a janitor. Like, hey, Iran's doing some weird shit. We have intelligence that, Iran's doing some weird shit. We need to go bomb them. I think it's like working backwards from like, we want to get to fucking up Iran. We want to get to fucking up Iraq. We'll work backwards from there. And just like whatever intelligence, whatever ideas are picked up, we'll just accept it. We'll go with it. Regardless. We won't double check it. We'll just go with it. Fuck it.
Sure,
Because that's our goal
do that
too.
on any country. We could always do that on any country.
Yeah.
It's just like writing the path to war.
Yeah. It's like we want to go to war. We want to we want this country to get run down. We want regime change. We want whatever the fuck the words would be. We want to fuck with these guys. So we'll work backwards to make it happen.
There's history that's well known of Rome doing this with a territory called Segesta, which was right near France and Spain. They started propagandizing the territory on the other side that Rome already controlled, saying they're doing all this deep dark shit. And they just basically they justified their whole way into taking Segesta, because really what they wanted was just to solidify the empire. They didn't want a gap in the empire.
Well, let's say the U.S. like, okay, we want Saddam out of power. They're not looking for like, if it's legit, they'll take it probably. But if it's not legit, they'll be like, well, good enough. All right, we'll use this to go like, hey, isn't some guy in Venezuela that is, we'll call him anonymous right now. He says that Maduro's selling shit tons of fentanyl to ship into the U.S. It's like, some guy? Yeah, some guy. Good enough. All right. $50 million bounty on his head. Perfect. That works perfectly. Anonymous source says Maduro's doing this. You know what? That's good enough. Let's use that as for the action that they want to do anyways. Basically, that's what I see. And that is 100% these individuals that are in that mindset doing these things, probably working together about it too. Which is where the conspiratorial part comes in, right? Where it's like international motherfuckers working together to achieve certain goals, and they will use
and then they have
anything to do it.
Weirdos like Mark Andreessen tell them, stop thinking about what you just did. Don't reflect. Don't reflect on what you just did. Like, just keep it moving.
You are the
that's how
great
you
men and women
survive.
of our times. Accept it. Don't think
You're
about
dynamic. Okay.
it. All right. Good.
How can you be so dynamic and flat at the same time? I don't know.
So I noticed you
Conundrum.
I noticed you talking about this like 2 months ago or something. You were talking about how all of these right-leaning podcasters or whatever, Tim Pool, fucking Tucker Carlson, or not Alex Jones.
They're right-leaning
Mark
in name
Levin,
only,
they were all,
in my opinion, but go ahead.
Well, hold on. They had a common talking point. Like it's like, where'd that talking point come from? It came from the White House. Well, one of the things that Trump was calling out on the left was like, you could just line up all the left-leaning news and it just a repeat of the same caption, repeat of the same story from all the news stations and all the papers and everything. And then when you find the original source, what they would do is they would just say, well, this source that copied me actually is the original source. If you line up to the release of the time, like you can find out, like, no, that's a lie from the original source.
Oh, yeah. That is it's a little bit harder with video because these guys like say words out loud. But like with back in the day, like newspapers, right? They'd put a big giant fucking headline. Here's the story, right? And then when people start finding out it's wrong, well, when people find out, it's like, this is bullshit, isn't it? There's like a retraction, and 3 issues later, as in a small portion of the newspaper where no one's going to see it. Well, we said we retracted though. See, we're being honest and
that's for legal purposes.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like, Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
They
but
need a
250
the
people
paper
died
trail.
from the issue. Yeah, 250 people died from the issue that you caused with your statements. But whatever.
and it's just even better with anonymous sources because you could, doesn't matter about their credibility. You just say like anonymous source said this. We're just reporting on that. And yeah, the Fox News put a question mark at the end. Is Barack Hussein Obama Muslim? Right? put a question mark and do a news story about it. It's brilliant.
Yeah.
Not brilliant. It's kindergarten, but it worked. It worked and it works. All right. Yeah, let's keep going. Once I still have those 2 clips. These idiots are not gonna fucking play it probably, so I'll play it for you guys. All right, here's more of the clip from Joe Ken and Tucker Carlson.
Pick your topic. A lot of times they'll
Unbreaking
sample
bullets.
different things until they find what sticks.
Sample different things until they find what sticks. So it's not intelligence, it's
Oh, there you go.
propaganda. He also talked about how he would hear the things from the Israelis, and then on the next day, he would hear it on Mark Levin's show or in the Wall Street Journal or by Mark Dewitz, anybody from the Israel lobby. I mean, literally out of the book from Professor John Mearsheimer, who we just
How dare you
this
smear
is the
Mark.
Israel lobby, the most sophisticated lobby in
little
now, I would
bastard
say, the history
sugar.
of mankind. The co-option of a U.S. superpower. And that does not in any way absolve Donald Trump from allowing himself to be lobby controlled
Don't worry,
whatever
Joe Ken's going
by
to.
the Israelis. I want to
Who's
make
Tucker?
that very clear. But I think
He said
whenever
that
we play
he said
this
Nick
next
Fuentes
one,
reminds him of the
honestly,
little
this was the
lollipop
most shocking
gang
part.
from Wizard of
I
Oz.
plan on spending a decent amount of time on this.
He said
in our
he's like
interview with Joe
he's
Ken,
like
which is currently scheduled for tomorrow.
God, like a little.
Damn it. I represent the goddamn Lollipop Guild. Jesus Christ. All the way in Chicago. Fuck.
All right.
It's like, oh, poor thing.
I'm just a Lollipop
mean.
gang in Chicago. Fuck.
All right, here we go. These are these fucking people's heroes. Like, these fucking dweeby motherfuckers are somehow the voices of 2026. That is incredible to me. Is that good?
So when did Joe Kent have this interview with Tucker?
Yesterday.
I don't know.
Or it
I don't
was
know
released
when he had it,
yesterday.
but yeah, it was released yesterday.
Okay, so that's when he resigned too.
It's for sure after he
this interview
resigned,
in-
but yeah, we don't know exactly when it was recorded. But yeah, good.
He resigned the day before.
Yeah, it's basically the same. Yeah.
Okay.
All right, let's continue. Here we go with more Sugar and Magic 8 Ball.
Is his discussion around the
Raw sugar?
circumstances of Charlie Kirk's assassination, and then connecting that to Butler, and then connecting that to potential.
Okay. I don't care to hear about the Charlie Kirk.
Oh, again.
And,
Like they talked about Butler more than they did Iran.
I know.
And they like anyway, let me just go back. It actually kind of broke my brain where I'm like, again? Butler? What the fuck?
And listen,
Bro, I'm over it. I'm so over it.
maybe.
And then they connect it to Candace Owens, right? And to the Charlie Kirk, Candace Owens, and then he'll go on her show, and you can continue the fucking saga.
Yep. But hey, man, maybe it was Israel. You know what I'm saying? Maybe they're the reason.
And then he'll have some secret information about how Mark Levin does have a micro penis, and then he can weave that into Megyn Kelly's fucking show. Like, what a fucking shit show.
No, Megan was brought up too, right? Wasn't she brought up too? In regards to, I think it was her spat with fucking Mark Levin. Wasn't that brought up? Am I tripping?
Yeah. Because she told him that he has a micro penis, and he was like, "I'm not even going to respond to this." And then he alluded to her being a deep throat.
Oh my fucking god!
So, what is Joe Kent being investigated for now?
Leaking on Mark
Leaking.
Levin. Leaking. Like they did to Nixon. Like the unjust. Well, first he leaked to Tucker Carlson that Mark Levin had a meeting with Trump because he saw him walking into Trump's office.
How is that leaking?
Then Tucker had knowledge.
Mark,
he said because then he gave
isn't
Tucker
Mark
knowledge.
Levin a member of the government?
Very distant. He's independent.
Yeah. Hello.
He's in the
you're here.
What's it called? What's the foreign council's?
He's American. He's not a dual citizen. He's American. He's not a dual
No,
citizen.
I know.
Council on Foreign
Listen
Relations.
to what I'm saying. Council, he's part of CFR. That's government, right?
No. He's part of CNP.
No, he is on CFR
Mark Levin?
as an
I don't know.
yeah, as an advisor for Trump. He's part of CFR now. For the
No,
last 2 years.
he's part of the CNP for sure.
What's that? CNP?
The conservative. It's the Council on Foreign Relations, like conservative cousin on the quote unquote right
okay.
wing. It's the conservative. Yeah,
We
conservative
looked it up.
national something. It's called
We
CNP.
looked it up. We looked it up. He's on CFR.
I thought he was. Well, why would he be in this? Because that's like the liberal whatever foreign relations.
No, it's just government. It's just central.
The Council on Foreign. The Council on Foreign Relations.
Yes, isn't it government? Question mark.
No.
I'm
That's
pretty
it's
sure
like
it is,
a.
but okay.
The Council on Foreign Relations is a nonpartisan American rule. Blah, blah, where is it? Yeah, this is it's a think tank. It's not a government anything. It's a foreign policy think tank, but specifically from the more like Democrat or liberal, whatever you want to call that, one manufacturer paradigm, and then you have the CNP, which is the conservative version of that exact thing.
Maybe that's what I read.
Punk rock version.
Yeah, because I know for sure that Mark, because Reagan was a part of that CNP. Jack Posobiec, like all of these, like kind of whatever Con Inc. conservative people are part of CNP. All of them,
But
every
look it
single
up.
one, every
Look up.
single one.
Look up if Mark Levin is part of the government right now as an advisor.
Yeah, he is. He's a special advisor on foreign relations, specifically on Iran.
Saying that,
Foreign policy.
maybe he thinks CFR. Okay.
Oh yeah, but he's not part of the CFR. The other CFR is like the think tank. Yeah, Mark Levin would not be caught dead with those liberals.
Yeah, goddamn Joe Biden in it.
Mm-mm.
Little bastard.
Yeah, fuck no. With Victoria Nuland? No. Mm-mm. He's in CNP for sure.
All right, let's play the clips that these guys might not play. I assume right now they're gonna play the Charlie Kirk and the Butler stuff, right? And they're gonna riff on that. But I want to play the things that they didn't play. Starting with this to showcase what I think I was seeing, where it's like this guy is for these wars. He just wants them done a certain way. So let's hear it out. Here is a clip from Tucker Carlson's interview with.
Can you hear me? My bad.
Cohen. Yeah, I hear you.
Okay. No, I was going to say it's the Council for National Policy. That's what CNP is. Council for National Policy. Just for anyone who wants to look into that, that's what it's called.
Okay.
CNP. Mm-hmm.
It ain't the CPP.
Or wait, what's it called?
CNP.
CCP.
CNP, the Council for National Policy.
We're not Chinese over here.
All right.
CNP. Hard N. Go ahead.
All right, here's Tucker with Joe Kent.
What they did was they created basically a shifting red line or a new red line. So
All right, the audio is low as shit because Twitter sucks ass. I'm gonna add some volume to this. Like I compressed this shit. There we go.
Yeah, why don't you watch it on YouTube? So much easier.
A shifting red line or a new
Set
red
to
line.
find
So
it.
if the president's
In
red
the
line
middle of a
was,
2-hour
Oh,
interview.
that's fair.
Iran cannot
Yeah.
have a
That's
weapon,
fair.
we've actually got a lot of trade space.
No, Twitter is
for a deal
horrible.
to be made. Because of what I just described with the Iranian policy, essentially the Iranians saying, okay, well, we don't want a nuclear weapon. Well, that means we basically are at a point where we can start negotiating and we can come up with a deal. And the president is a fantastic deal maker. So if your goal is to move us away from any kind of deal and your goal is to move us into a conflict, you have to shift that red line. And that's where a lot of this, I would say, what became a de facto U.S. policy of Iran can have no nuclear enrichment. It was laundered through a lot of the different talking heads, Mark Levin, Mark Dubowitz. You've got the Foundation for the Defense of Democracies, you name it. Washington, D.C. has plenty of pro-Israeli lobbyists who will come and say those things, who will publish think pieces on it, who will go on the media, who will run, op-eds in the Wall Street Journal to talk about this, why they can't have any enrichment whatsoever. And then we have a high degree of engagement with Israeli government officials who will come in and say, well, they're enriching and they could enrich or they could enrich more, and that will get them closer to a nuclear weapon. So then enrichment basically became the new U.S. policy. And the only official I've heard, and folks are welcome to look for this, that said this in the first Trump administration was Mike Pompeo. He said it. The president didn't say it. The president has been very consistent. He said they can't have a nuclear weapon. But again, like I said, that puts us at a place where we actually could have negotiations. And only President Trump, I think, could successfully have negotiations with Iran because he actually punched them in the face. And the Iranians had been walking all over us. They had been killing our soldiers. All of that is true. I have no sympathy whatsoever for the Iranians, what their proxies were doing. President Trump level set that when he killed Qasem Soleimani and he killed Abu Mahdi Mohandas. The folks who wanted to push an actual regime change war in Iran knew this, and they knew there was a potential to get a deal, or there was a potential for President Trump just to continue the policy of maximum pressure sanctions, and if you come after us, we will hit you hard. And that got the protesters out on the street in Iran, and that's actually what the regime feared the most. I don't think the Ayatollah feared dying, not because he, is some crazy lunatic. I'm sure some degree of the Shia martyrdom culture played a factor in that. However, I think he knew that if he was killed, the regime would survive because the people would rally around the regime.
This guy is so fucking Mr. Damn, did I freeze again? Can you hear me?
Yeah.
All right.
It says you've been disconnected.
Yeah, my screen.
Oh, no, I see it. I see it
Okay.
now.
Oh, okay. Then something else happening. Whatever. Yeah, the hindsight of this. With what makes you think that the killing of Qasem Soleimani wouldn't lead to all-out war with Iran? What makes you why he's saying that so much after the fact? Like, he had no fucking clue. He didn't fucking know. The administration didn't know. In fact, if they got a retaliation from Iran, they'd be like, "There's our excuse. Look, they're killing American soldiers. We need to go and fuck them up." That's what I read it as. So this little hindsight thing of Trump knew that one little strike and boom, he's done. He's in, he's out.
Yeah.
Genius, brilliant, is holy shit. And yes, this guy is basically saying he's for this stuff. He's for Iran being done with. Just not in this way. Not a prolonged version of it. Just evaporate them and be done. They've killed American soldiers, man.
And I'm just curious about when he's coming to these conclusions, because allegedly, back in 2020, he was, he was supporting Bernie, and so I wonder what he actually thought about Trump executing that at that time. I'm just curious because, how I'm just who is this person? Is this? I want to know the story. I want rich details.
That's fair enough, but I'm not so high on Bernie Sanders' foreign policy. I'm not so high on it either.
No, it's not even about but it's not even about Bernie Sanders' foreign policy. It's more of just I wonder where he was at with that. Just in terms of being a quote unquote progressive, if you oppose that at that time, did you oppose that at that time? Just because you were, no new wars, you're Bernie guy, whatever, just on the surface. And then you went to Trump, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then is that when you decided that, oh no, actually bombing Iran was a good thing? I'm just curious, what did you think at that time? Because you were in the military, right?
Yeah.
So, and you were in politics. So I would like to know exactly where you were at that time, because as of right now, I think that you're a completely manufactured entity.
I said it yesterday.
In my opinion.
I think this guy is full of shit. Full of shit. And I even called him psychopathic. Based on some of the answers I heard throughout that whole 2-hour thing with Tucker, I'm like, man, this guy is fucking cold-blooded, man. Cold-blooded, saying things that lead to some atrocities across the world. Very cold-blooded to it. And still the dick riding of Trump, once again, in a cold way, where it's almost like a business thing to do that, instead of the passion of I got fired not fired. He quit over an issue that he feels deeply about. I didn't get that sense. I didn't get that sense at all. And you added before in regards to him, they want to investigate him or whatever the fuck. There was no no panic, no anything like that. Just very cold, calculated thing about it. And
Yeah, he just said,
apparently
"Oh yeah,
acceptable.
they're gonna do that. That's how they're gonna."
Yeah, apparently acceptable.
Yeah, he's like, that's how the game works. Now they're gonna attack me. They're gonna try to discredit me. That's just how the game is played. It's like, okay,
I leave room for someone
play the
just
game.
being stoic as a possible character thing, but like I'm saying, there's things that are being brought up where this guy, like, there shouldn't be a yeah, okay, and then like break it down like very analytically like that. It just doesn't. It's like, do you realize what you're talking about, man? It's like there's no like sense of himself in those moments. He's just saying it. It just feels so very cold and I don't know. But yeah, this guy is okay with fucking up Iran. Just make sure, no U.S. troops get hurt, or make sure it's done quickly. Doesn't hurt our money, right? Which a lot of these guys complain about. It's just like empty to me. No real thing behind it. And to me, that's kind of a scary way to look at this topic. Through money and through the American lens of like, did we lose anyone? We didn't? Okay, it's good. I heard that today, too, about Venezuela. Like, see, look, we didn't lose anyone, so it was a good operation. It worked out perfectly fine. Like, wait a minute, didn't other people die? Of course, who cares?
That is one of the main concerns for America is no casualties. Like that's one thing they have to pitch in wars for us is very low casualties.
Well, then we're fucking sociopathic then. Doesn't that make us that? I hope not.
It's one of the cells they go with archive for American propaganda.
Well, it's like if that works on you, then like you should really check yourself, like really look in the mirror, like really do that. If it's like it's about did we lose American troops or not? Like that's a fucked position off rep. I bet both these guys scream they're Christian too at the same time. Funny enough. Let's move on to
what guys?
What?
Oh, Tucker and Joe.
No, the average person that's like, well, at least they don't say at least. They just say like it was a good operation. Why was it good? Because we got in, grabbed Maduro, and left, and no Americans died during it, without even asking the question. Like, did anyone else get hurt? I mean, you would want, if America is the golden heart of the world, you would want them to even care about like, hey, did like, a bomb hit a fucking dog or a cat in the street somewhere? Like they should care to that degree if they want to be the good, gracious hearts of the world, which is what they're advertised and projected as, right? From the like the hyper, I'm a patriot person, right? They're projected as like we're the honorable people of the world. Like I don't fucking see it. But let's keep it moving. Here's another thing in regards to that interview. And yes, Michael Tracy's going to outflank most of these fools on this topic. He's going to destroy Breaking Points. He's going to destroy Tucker. He's going to destroy Candace because
Michael Tracy?
Yes. In words, at least, he will. He will.
He's talking about the Iran war now?
He's been talking about foreign policy. I'm telling you. He's been doing all these stories like, yeah, look how stupid they are. It's just with the Epstein stuff, I'm like, yo, you're on your own on that one, bud. I can't follow you there.
So he sounds sane with the Iran stuff, but he's
his words
completely backwards with Epstein stuff.
Yeah, listen, I'm not calling this guy legitimate because of his outside of Epstein takes. I'm just saying, in words, like, yeah, I would say something like this. In words, at least, right? Like he says, like, Joe Kent and Tucker are essentially saying Trump just launched a catastrophic war on false pretenses, but they still can't stop kissing his ass, calling him so smart, courageous, such a great negotiator, even praising his Iran policy that set the stage for war. Servile and pathetic. It's there a word that no one fucking knows in there. An asshole.
Servile? You don't know what servile means?
No. I don't fucking use that word personally.
Servant. Just think of servant.
Okay, fair enough. Now I know. Either way, let's play Michael's clip here, which is going to be edited portions of this whole discussion that we were seeing. And it'll hopefully give some context to the audience of why we're like, yo, this interview was like bullshit. This is not some American hero shit happening here. It's not some like, I stand on my conscience, that's why I'm doing this. It's not that. It really is seemingly narrative driving type of shit. Push us towards like, hey, see, look, it's Israel, see? Which could even be placed coming down from the White House itself. The very guy that people are saying is owned by Israel may be putting out the narratives that like, hey, it's Israel. And in fact, Israel might be doing that. I got some fucking clips, man. I got the Netanyahu thing, talking about Jesus, by the way. Him talking about that idea. It's like, yo, are you baiting? I'll play it. I'll fucking play it. But yo, are you baiting people? Where's this shit at? Look at this. Put it right here. Look at this.
Also wrote The Lessons of History, very brief, 100-page book, in which he said, well, history proves that, unfortunately and unhappily, Jesus Christ has no advantage over Genghis Khan. Because if you are strong
over
enough,
genocide,
ruthless enough, powerful enough, evil will overcome good. Aggression will overcome moderation. So you have no choice. If you look at the world as it is today, you have to be blind not to see that the democracies led by the United States have to reassert their will to defend themselves and to oppose their enemies in time while there's still time, before the jarring gong of danger wakes them up and wakes them up too late. This is where we are now. The fact that people don't see that, the fact that a lot of the news media are harking on a lot of fake news, but also a lot of short-sightedness, and do not see the historic period and the historic struggle that we are engaged in now, doesn't obviate these truths.
I mean, it's as catnip as it gets. But yeah, in the face of genocide, Jesus would fail. Like, who's he talking to when he says that? Come on. He knows the reaction that's going to happen from that. I think he's well aware of that. And it'll probably work. It will probably work, to be honest with you. It's like, I think the whole idea of, it's Israel, could be coming from places like this. I kid you not. It could be coming from fucking Netanyahu and his apparatus over there, along with the U.S. and its apparatus. Not as separate entities, but as teammates, along with other global fucking entities, other teammates around the entire fucking world. I could 100% believe that.
With that statement, who do you think he's talking to?
Well, he's talking about America, right? And he's saying you got to get dirty to deal with these dirty dogs in Iran or any other like threat, quote unquote threat. And he's saying, yeah, the Jesus guy thing, the Jesus stuff won't work here. You got to be ruthless. You got to be more ruthless than they are. Is basically what he's saying. And it's like, well, let's be real.
He did say something about America needs to up their defense. So put together, that makes sense.
And it's like, yo, Netanyahu, people are already there. They already threw that fool Jesus back in. They threw him in the ocean. Said, fuck that guy. You're right, Netanyahu. Survival, like that's already the case. But him saying that, I think, is to get the attention of Americans and really like, wait a minute. See, look what he said. See, it's Israel. I think
so
that's just on purpose.
That was put out. So bait.
Yes.
Okay.
Well, to get you to run with a narrative, and then once you run with the narrative, you're distracted from like actual nuance and actual diagnosis. Actually, like hey, wait a minute, let me ask you a question. Instead of asking questions, it's, you're Israel, aren't you? Look what you're doing.
Why would he want to be set up as the bait for
It's
the
not
why
him.
Israel's in charge?
It's not him. It's, come on. It's the fucking idea. Like, it's Israel is not. Sure, he's a name there, right? But when the if the U.S. or any other country's like, yo, fuck Israel, we're gonna go fuck them up. It's not him. He's fine. He'll find a nice fucking beach to chill at.
He's the primary name if they were going to go after anybody. So why would he want to put himself further into that position?
He's
Why would
not really. Is he the primary name? Sure, he's like the spokesman. Of course he's the PR guy. But
He's
like,
the primary.
if Israel crumbles tomorrow, he'll be on a beach chilling, sipping pina coladas. He'll be chilling, bro. If the U.S. goes down, Trump will be chilling on a beach somewhere. We're fucked. The people are fucked. He'll be fine. Trump will be fine.
Well,
Netanyahu will be fine.
Not if the victor wants to hunt the earth for them. Like
what?
Like the Israelis did with the Nazis after the war. They hunted them down all across the world.
Allegedly, sure. But also a bunch of scientists came to America and don't fuck with these guys. We need them.
They hung like 150 of them, and after they had court for them.
Sure, random soldier guys, sure. But people of teammate value, safe, very safe, right?
I don't know teammate value of people that were on the German side.
The scientists? You don't think they made their way to America and had a little safe living here?
Well, they made a deal, sure. I wouldn't consider them teammate.
They become teammates. They become teammates. But you're valuable. We'll use you. Come join us. Yeah, we know you're Nazis, but don't tell anyone about it in America. You're good.
So scientists are the highest value?
For the sense of what the leadership would want from a certain situation, yeah, they're valuable. Maybe nuclear stuff.
Scientists are. That's who we should look at every war ever.
Yeah, I guess. But like, I personally, the way I view things.
I'm saying I'm disagreeing, but I'm just.
Fair enough. But like, the way I'm viewing things is that like, when it comes to the PR psychological game, it could be a benefit to be like, yeah, everyone look at Israel and blame them for everything. Don't worry. When people get riled up and pissed off, he'll be like, everyone's like, yeah, you're safe then, yeah. Maybe not, but most likely he's probably safe. He's probably safe.
Right. He's probably.
So it's okay if they blame Israel. It's okay.
If all of Israel crashed, you're right. He'd probably be on a beach with a hell of a lot of security somewhere else in the world.
Yeah, with their teammates. The U.S. would probably make sure of it. And so, yeah, this guy's probably safe. If I had to guess. I could be wrong. Maybe he's a pawn too, but my guess is the way he talks and the way he maneuvers seems like he's safe. He seems like he's like, yeah, you're one of the teammates. You're fine. And thus, it's okay for a bunch of Americans to be like, fuck you, Israel. It's okay for a bunch of Americans to do that because you're not actually, it's like, fine, get your frustrations out and also ignore what your own country's doing. Sorry, what your own government's doing. Ignore what they're doing and blame these guys instead. You can't touch. You can't touch them. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Like that's my opinion of what I think is happening. So thus, why not go out there and fucking invoke the name of Jesus to a bunch of people that are saying these guys hate Christians. They hate them. Yeah, go ahead and invoke the name like that. Jesus couldn't do anything to a genocide. That's what he just said. Jesus can't do nothing with that. He said it in English too, by the way. He wasn't speaking to his people. He's speaking English to everyone else. Like, yeah, Yeah, Jesus couldn't do shit with this stuff. You're like, yo, you know how it's gonna fucking trigger people? Like, come on. Like, to me, it just looks obvious. But whatever. And when you look at this interview here, where Tucker and Joe Kent, like, what are they saying? It's Israel. It's Israel doing it. And like relinquishing responsibility from the creepers that occupy the US government. Like, it is what it is. All right, let's apply so you can see what I'm saying here about the kind of immunity that the Trump administration has, or at least Trump himself.
Even the good goy deserve to die.
Oh, is that a quote from someone? Oh, okay.
Talmud quote.
Oh, whoever wrote that is a fucking idiot. All right. Well, depending on what they mean. There's a good.
They mean the ones that work with them.
I don't know. I don't know enough, but either way.
That's generally what it means.
Okay, fair enough. I'm sure. I'm sure. The invocation of the Talmud could also be a play, but who's counting, right? Who's looking? Who really cares?
Well,
it's more sensational to feel like you're battling something.
You could argue that's just the current religion they want to use in the spotlight. And next month, let's say the Muslims do something more than this and they start winning or something, might switch to the Quran. Says this.
No, they're already doing that.
We should be back focused.
They're already.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
I get what you're saying, but they're
back and
pitting
forth.
people. They're been pitting people against each other, like regular people, not them. They play characters on TV
Right, and then you
to
got-
get to fight. I think.
Right. And then you got the Christians, and you can go through their stuff and do the same thing.
Yeah.
Just rotate it whenever useful, needed.
Yeah. But all right, let's hear Joe Kent and Tucker Carlson do PR for the White House, in my opinion, or at least for Trump. But I think overall the effect is the White House, essentially. Let's apply. Here we go.
But the other thing to notice about Joe Kent, and it may be his defining factor, is that he doesn't slander anyone. His resignation letter was not an attack on Donald Trump. It wasn't a promise to write a tell-all memoir about what he saw on the inside or to aggrandize himself or to get a job on a TV show or sell something.
Again, President Trump is very smart. I think President Trump has a gift for interpreting large sets of data and making very, very key strategic decisions. And so when the president sees that he's got issues with his own security detail, when he sees what happened in Butler with the other assassination attempts, when he sees what happened with Charlie, I think it's reasonable to believe that somewhere in his head he thinks that, like, maybe I don't have a choice. Maybe they could harm me or they could harm my family. And if they can't keep me safe, I believe the president deeply cares. I believe he's very courageous. I think if it was just a matter of he worried about his own physical safety, I don't think he cares. We saw that in Butler. But he does love his family, and he's got a big family. And so somewhere in his head, if they can't keep me safe, what about my family? The good news
That just blows my mind what he just said.
Well, he's saying, listen, he could be being threatened, right? But he's also very courageous. So, but like, he might be falling in line, but he's also very courageous. But like, it's not about him. Like, he'll risk his own life. You could see him pumping his fists in Butler, right? After he gets shot in the ear or whatever. But like, maybe he's worried about his family, though. Like, I need lawyers like this. If I get in trouble, guys, I need a Joe Kent to be my lawyer and just explain away everything. Like, listen, upstanding character, okay? This YellBro guy is amazing. All right, here we go. It's like these guys are giving Michael Tracy just.
Is this the whistleblower on Trump? Is this the guy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Allegedly. Yeah.
He's here to disrupt the Trump administration he had, and Joe Kent has has all the
While
courage in the
covering
world.
up for them at the same time.
Yeah, he has all the courage in the world because he's standing against the Iran war. Oh, wait, he's not? Oh, okay. Here we go.
You need whistleblowers like that.
Saw Mark Levin walk in the door, apparently, is what's the problem.
Mm-hmm.
Sure. Here we go.
So somewhere in his head, if they can't keep me safe, what about my family? The good news is, I believe that this is something that President Trump is uniquely qualified to fix on his own through his sheer willpower. President Trump has an amazing ability. It's almost his superpower, I think, to be able to kind of breathe life into ideas, and again, to capture large data sets and to find leverage. Again, this is why President Trump is uniquely qualified to solve this problem, because I think he has the ability to understand things from multiple perspectives at the same time, and then find our leverage, and then find out what's best for our objectives, for America's objectives, with clear eyes. And that's the way we have to be. So they knew President Trump was someone who wanted to negotiate, but more importantly, they knew that President Trump was not someone to mess with, because he killed Qasem Soleimani. He killed Abu Mahdi Mohandas. He had defeated ISIS. They knew that President Trump was a man of action. He is militarily strong. And so they said, before we take an action, we need to make sure that it's calculated. And only President Trump, I think, could successfully have negotiations with Iran, because he actually punched them in the face. And the Iranians had been walking all over us. They had been killing our soldiers. All of that is true. I have no sympathy whatsoever for the Iranians, what their proxies were doing. President Trump level set that when he killed Qasem Soleimani and he killed Abu Mahdi Mohandas. President Trump truly does hold the cards. He's a very powerful, very respected leader.
Michael Tracy's rain dancing on these fools.
The only way he could even add to this, saying, see, and this is teaching North Korea not to mess with us.
So Trump had to leave the nuclear deal to get to negotiations, right? But the only way to actually negotiate and not be bullied and pushed around by Iran is to punch them in the face, which I guess means kill one of their leaders, which for sure everyone knew at the time would not lead to anything else. Like, obviously, if you blow up one of their top leaders or top military leaders, I mean,
but only Trump could pull something off like this. Like, only Trump is uniquely qualified to pull off a move such as this.
With absolute confidence that it wouldn't spill over and lead to anything else. Brilliant.
Yeah.
And we're actually in the middle of a war with them today. And
it's not a war. It's a peace operation. Right? It is not a war.
This is a script.
It's a peace mission. Okay.
Oh, my bad. I forgot how they wrote it.
Peace mission, not a war.
In a way, Joe Kent's saying what Netanyahu's saying, isn't he? Like, listen, some turn the other cheek person is not going to do the job. It has to be someone who's willing to punch you in the face, which is true. The only person.
Everybody's got a plan until they get punched in the face.
The only one who can negotiate with these terrorists that kills American people. Like, he's the only one that could do it. Jesus would fail.
Speak their language, I guess.
Saying the same thing as Netanyahu, bro. Listen, this peace stuff doesn't work. You got to punch them in the face. Let them know what's up. Oh, fuck.
Does this look like something that like you'd have writers for, where like you see on the breaking point side, or people who cover this, like, oh, was this were they covering that, or were you did you just kind of clip that in?
No, that was from Michael Tracy. He clipped that, and I played it.
Okay.
So I said, listen, I have two clips that I'm going to play.
Yeah.
If Breaking Points doesn't cover it. But yeah, God.
Yeah. So I'm wondering, like, I'm thinking they won't go into those just details that we just saw. Maybe they will, but like, I'm thinking they don't cover that portion of it, right? Like, that's not.
No, we heard them. They played their clip.
Oh.
We heard it. Then they moved on to Charlie Kirk and Butler, which was also in the Michael Tracy clip, right? But like, not in the same context. They're bringing it up as in like, damn, this guy's questioning things. Oh my God.
Yeah.
The courage. Wow.
Yeah, and what makes us listen to, like, I wasn't listening to Joe like a month ago, right?
Yeah.
What makes us listen to this messaging about how great Trump is? Well, the fact that he's whistleblowing or he's speaking the truth now. Okay, so we go listen to this truth, and like this was fairly sloppy and disgusting the way he was just praising Trump to that level.
Yeah.
But they don't go over that. There's no need. Unless
Well-
they want to take him down because he, is not serving their purpose anymore. Then they'll like pull up these clips and be like, see, look at all these clips. Even when he was stepping down, it was for these reasons. He's so gross. Vote for Gavin Newsom 2020. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know.
Like the whole reason why we're hearing him is like bait. It's like like that itself is a trick, right? Like the reason we're hearing him is like the
Who?
opposite of what he's saying. Like the
Joe
message
Kent?
that he's actually communicating.
Yeah.
Mm.
Well, it's okay. Just like the Netanyahu thing I was saying. Like, it's okay to. It's okay for him to say, this war is not right. I'm quitting my job and making headline news about it. It's okay. I was like, yeah, whatever, fine. I'm all good with that. As far like because the way Joe Kent sounds, it sounds like PR for the Trump administration, basically, right? And Trump himself, which is why, yeah, it's okay. That's fine.
Well, in a way, it's kind of to show, like, oh, even if we do go our separate ways or whatever, like there is some kind of like dissent permitted to a certain degree, I guess. Like even though it's fake, I don't know.
Well, it's like good.
Like there's
Make 'em look
variety,
bad.
I guess, or the illusion of variety.
Yeah. Well, it's like make me look bad, right? Like let's
Yeah.
do our little stage thing we're doing. Go ahead, make me look bad, Joe Kent, by quitting, and I'll make you look bad by saying Joe Kent is a betrayer. He's a betrayer
He's
of
weak.
me.
I always thought he was weak.
He's a
It's
weak
like,
man.
okay.
Like, what does it
I haven't
matter?
heard
They're
him say
safe,
anything.
right?
Like he hasn't said anything bad about the administration. He's only about like Israel's interjection into
Yeah.
what's happening. He's not
Which is also
actually saying
safe.
anything negative about it.
It's all safe, I think, with these fucking characters.
Absolutely.
That's why I was like, but that's where people are like, oh my God, finally someone saying something about Israel. Finally. Right? Getting that like alleviation. Like, guys, you're getting played. And then you have people like Breaking Points kind of repeating, like, yeah, you should feel relieved that of what's happening here. Like, damn, someone's finally standing up. The courage, guys, the courage. And like, if you say, you know what, fuck Joe Kent, I'm sticking with Trump, you're getting played. If you say, fuck Trump, I'm going with Joe Kent, you're getting played. If you say, these guys are innocent, fuck Israel, I think you're still getting played. It should be a more encompassing answer than just simple jumping from one totem pole to the next, which seems to be the psychological, this like Psyop, I guess, of all of it, to get your behavior to start running towards teams or personalities. That is the play itself, I think, which is why when I hear people scream, Israel, but look, Jordan, they did this, is not good enough. Have a more encompassing fucking answer. Otherwise, you're doomed to repeat your fuck ups that you already fell for you already fell for them already. In regards to whether it's Trump or
Well, that brings up
any of these guys. My God.
you. I think you've probably covered it. Jesse recently leaked it. Was what's his name? Chicago. What's that kid's name?
Nick Fuentes.
Nick Fuentes saying 90% of MAGA supports war. While we had that other video where Jimmy Dore's going through 45% of Republicans think Jews are a problem we're going to have to handle at some point. How can both those things like coexist?
One you just said supports the war or supports war in general? You mean supports the Iran war? Okay. Yeah, well, they're
That's
polling
Nick
different
Fuentes'
people.
statement.
They're probably polling different people.
Shout
And
out
they're
to
probably
Kurt Metzger for being the voice of reason on that episode. Just saying.
Yeah. And it would have got
No, but
skipped if
the
Jimmy
point being,
didn't have someone there.
how
with him.
does
Yeah.
how
That's what
does
happened last time.
90% of MAGA Republicans support the war with Iran, while 45% or 45% of just Republicans not think that Jews are a problem?
Well, I
Being another story.
well,
That's such a. Those are such big claims. Like,
yeah.
they can't stand up to each other.
Well, I just did a video on this to where these little team players can look at the same thing and view it as possibly a victory for their side, or like kind of run with a narrative where they end up giving an incomplete answer to like this narrative that they're dealing with, right? Like Kyle would see that 90% to 10% in regards to support for the war with Iran, right? And he'll be like, see, look, this is what MAGA is. Look at them. They're a bunch of fuck ups. That's why you need to support my side instead.
Mm-hmm. These people are in a cult. These people are in a cult. Like, that's probably what he's going to say.
Yeah.
Like, they'll follow him off the cliff.
And
typical Kyle stuff.
By the fact that you're comparing those two means there's a lie in there somewhere. Where
Yeah, the whole fucking thing. There's no way 100% of people
we're not
support
detecting
Trump.
fully
It's dumb.
what anyone is thinking.
It's, once again, they're almost mimicking what I think these creepy crawlers in government do, which is they're working backwards from the conclusion they want to happen, and they'll take any type of justification to make it happen. Whether it's a janitor giving you intelligence or your 5-star general telling you. Either one. They'll take it. Okay, fine, we'll take it. That works.
Okay.
We'll use this as a reason or excuse to go a certain direction. That's what these fucking brain-rotted political commentators fucking do, in my opinion. Like, hey, listen, Israel's a bad thing right now. War with Iran's a bad thing right now. And
Right now?
I'm just saying, like, in the news cycle.
Since the 40s.
I'm saying, like, for now in the news cycle, as far as like promotion and ideas you talk about through news cycles, and as a political commentator and as an influencer, if you will, they're considered bad things right now. Israel and Iran war. And then Breaking Point sees, oh my God, here's this Joe Kent guy who, even though he's not actually against the war with Iran, he's against a certain version of the war with Iran, or let's be real, like who's, I guess, pushing it, according to Joe Kent, which also ties to Israel as well, right? So like Joe Kent against the war, he quits over it. He quits over the Iran war, and he blames Israel as the reason why he quits. Thus, double whammy of brilliant, let's cheer him on, let's ignore all the other stuff. Let's give these incomplete answers about the Joe Kent character and just say like, hey, this guy's like, look at all that courage to do this. The fucking what do you say? The fucking is it Pentagon Papers, right? Like, oh my, the courage to quit and speak up about this stuff. Oh my God, he's like or Watergate, I think he brought up, right? Oh my God, Watergate. It's like Watergate. So fucking the courage to say something about this, and it's like, okay, are you sure it's just because, like, it could just be because the idea, as far as popular demand on their channel, from their viewership, anti-Iran war, anti-Israel. Those can be just simply the reasons. And thus, Joe Kent's a hero now. Versus, like, a complete answer that looks at the entire context, makes an actual diagnosis, and tries to give an actual answer or solution to it. That is not what they're doing. They're doing influence hopping, seemingly.
Yeah, this is the era of the hot take industrial complex. So you better like distill it down, make your little fucking graphics, and present it just like the fucking mainstream news in order to be perceived in the alternative to the mainstream. Anyway.
Yeah. Who's also they're all copying sports media, by the way. That's where they got all these style of graphics and shit like that, and rundowns. They got it from fucking sports. Just being honest.
Makes sense.
But all right. So here's another guy,
Mearsheimer.
Mearsheimer, who is I've
All
heard his
right.
name.
The lobby. The lobby.
Yeah,
Israel.
I've heard his name many a times.
Nobody knows about it. Secret.
And he is definitely touted as like a big name in regards to topics in regards to Israel and in foreign policy stuff, Russia, Ukraine, yes, that as well. Not saying the guy's full of shit. Not saying his information's all that wrong. It's just now is the opportunity time to bring in a Mearsheimer and like because of his past work. Okay, now we want this guy around. We want his.
He wrote about this decade ago. Like, just the lobby. It's like, oh, mysterious. They didn't want to, mainstream didn't want to tell you about this when it was written, but, now it's more relevant than ever.
Well, it's one of those things where someone leaves a comment and I'm like, well, my take in the video is hey, yes, Israel's a part of a lot of this stuff, but they aren't the sole blame for everything. And they'll be like, hey, have you ever heard of John Mearsheimer? Will be the response. Yes. And it's like, come on, guys. Like,
I've gotten that too. Actually, I've gotten that too. Shout out to Tenderlungs. He said that to me about the Ukraine-Russia thing. He's like, you just need to read about the realist political stance or whatever versus the liberal versus, I don't even know.
Yeah.
I forget. But yeah, he kept, instead of like answering specific questions, it was like, refer to Mearsheimer.
Yeah. Or Jeffrey Sachs is another, like those two seem to be like
another one, yeah.
Combined with each other. Sometimes you hear like a
to
Scott
a certain
Ritter.
degree, Scott Ritter.
Yeah,
exactly. Yep. Jinx, exactly. It's part of a very specific like sphere of, yeah.
Well, I find it funny that these guys question, people with like official positions and shit like that. Pause, right? But like, or like academia, or they might question, right? But yet they refer to them to reinforce their own assertions. It's interesting. I'll say that.
No, well, it makes perfect sense because if you look at all the news that anybody talks about, you're referring to the mainstream media at all times, regardless of whether or not you're giving commentary on it for sure. But the actual evidence and the quote unquote facts, like the data, is coming out of the mainstream.
Yeah, well,
or the authority of the government, or the authority of the government,
or the authority of the government. Yes, sure, but I'm saying like news people and whatever. It's usually oh, the New York Times or AP or whatever, while still being like, oh, look at this rag AP, and it's like, yeah, I don't know. It's just interesting. It's like everything changes, but it stays the same.
Yeah. Now, I'll get that way with events, personally, where it's like, all right, is this fucking bombing real? Or is it from like 3 years ago, right? And then if I see like a quote unquote official news source promoting it, I'm like, okay, maybe it is legit. Like my mind might go there. Although I could be like, maybe they're, because they've done bullshit before in the past. Definitely not with opinions, but definitely with like certain events. Where I'm like, is this real? Like, did this actually happen? Hey man, we're bombing Iran right now. For real? Let me say. I mean, granted, Twitter, usually the whole fucking feed from independent to mainstream are all saying the same thing, but
your phone already has built in, you have to turn them off, like notifications from certain sources. Just
I don't have that.
News events.
I don't have that. That's disabled.
Mine does.
I don't have that.
No, you can disable that.
I know, but I'm saying it starts out once you buy it with
but I don't keep it like that. I don't want Apple News or whatever fucking pinging me every time like Donald Trump calls somebody like a fat whore or whatever. Like I don't need that in my life ever. You turn that shit off immediately. Yeah. And when I want to see the news, I will go find it. So yeah.
Yeah.
But you can turn that off, Dubster.
Yeah, you can.
I did. The fucking second I got it. I'm just saying it starts out that way from the second you buy it from the store.
Oh, yeah.
Well, yeah, sure. But
default mode. Sure.
It doesn't have to stay that way.
There's a reason for that because some people won't turn it off and that grabs fucking eyes.
Well, they can just Google it. How do I turn this fucking shit off? It's driving me nuts. There's a bunch of videos about it.
Sure, but
Problem solved. YouTube University.
Anyways,
there's people that won't. There's people that will just let it be.
Yeah, fair enough. But like, I don't know. I do more like when I see like random Joe Blow on Twitter saying the same thing that some other news organizations saying as well. I don't just look at it like, yeah, that must be true. Then I still question it, but it's more so like, at least it's gonna be a headline. I'll say that, like whether it's independent, random user on Twitter or mainstream, like it's gonna be a headline either way.
I'm more interested in like even more like the discourse around it as well. Like, how is it being framed? Who's responding to it? How are they responding? Why?
Yeah.
How is this actually like? How is this being applied? How is this going to affect people? Like, that's more my, rather than like the maybe investigative journalism, which I do respect as well. Like all the like facts and detail, like because that's important too in terms of like archiving information in such a way. So like I have deep appreciation for that, and like it's really important research skills. And so I appreciate it, but I feel like you can do that, but I think taking it a step further in terms of like what is the actual like discourse around that as well.
Oh yeah,
Because,
my reason is the audience. That is my reason. Like
Yeah.
a lot of these guys, some of them I'll leave room for anyone, but I am curious like what's their intention and stuff like that. But like mainly it is for me, where my mind goes to is like what's the audience thinking in regards to this. From
the
anyone.
different audiences, because it's not one audience, right?
Yes,
There's different so it's like almost the different like different personas. There's like
Put pause on everything.
interesting
I heard this
how-
nigga Jordan's defending the juice. What the fuck?
Yeah, no shit. I'm a big fan of the who, what, when, where, and why. But I my favorite is which.
In regards to which what? I just get trolled.
Pardon?
Jordan, you have some answering to do about your defense of Israel and the Jews and your constant beating around the bush.
Okay.
Pause. And pause for that.
Okay, and so I prefer to just know the truth of a story. I don't care who's talking about it. I want to know the truth of the story.
Okay,
And if there's a lie
That's
here,
a rough one.
It's such a loaded statement.
If there's a lie here, it is on me to discover the lie with cross comparison.
What about context?
Nigga, you gay.
Oh my god.
I second that statement.
The pinnacle of truth and integrity, Dubster.
Finding truth is that's a rough one to do through headlines, which is why I go to my understanding of truth, the thing that I can like hold in my hands, like, okay, this is true. It's mainly about me, and then I look outside and be like, okay, does anyone see this? Anyone feel this? Anyone, and that type of thing.
And then everybody says no, and then you're confused.
And it can change depending on the different information that you get.
Oh no, I might have glitched out. No, they kick me. Is it kicking everyone? What the fuck? My internet
Yo,
died?
what the fuck just happened, bro?
That was everyone?
That was Discord. Discord's a piece of shit.
What happened?
Everything went silent, and I saw like glitching things happening.
I heard there's a
Fun
bunch of
internet.
bugs going on with Discord at the moment, and they just outsourced a bunch of shit to India. So
Oh, yeah,
I don't know
probably
anything
why.
about that, but yeah.
Fucking Jeets, right?
Anyways,
Mm.
yeah, I use a lot of intuition with all this stuff, and feedback from audience members
wait,
and comments.
is it? Are you using women's intuition?
No, and I was gonna say
Using
it
Jordan's
it can also change based
So
on
when-
like the different information that you might get, right? You might incorporate that into a different perspective. Like you might incorporate that into your outlook based on like how, legitimate is it? Does it make sense? Like it's not so like quote unquote truth is not so stagnant in terms of like because you don't have all of the different perspectives. Like it's a process. So I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe it could be like a static thing in terms of like the search for truth, but in itself, like the activity is like a procedure, like it's a process ongoing.
Yeah.
So,
Oh,
yeah.
definitely. I think with things outside of ourselves, like, yeah, for sure. And it's like, that's why, like, when I hear, like, it's Israel thing, like, I'm like, well, what about this?
Oh, here we go again.
Here's a news story that kind of counters that. Are you considering that? And that's where, like, that's where I go mentally in regards to, like, the audience, right? Like, oh, if this is the case, well, what about this story over here? Is that fake? Is it?
I think perspective is like democracy. It's overrated.
Okay. Well, yeah. Okay. Perspective.
He meant shut the
It's like
fuck
saying
up.
like gravity or whatever is like
What he meant to
overrated.
say
Like,
was shut
I
the
don't know.
fuck up.
Yeah, but
Air.
gravity is an ultimate truth. It has nothing to do
I
with
don't.
your
I didn't say it
perspective.
was. See.
Anyway, John Mearsheimer on Breaking Points did the same thing he's said 10 million times already, but I've not really gone over any of his stuff, so thus he can be, especially with like recent events, we can make judgments on hearing what he says. So here we go with John Mearsheimer on Breaking Points. Yeah.
Joining us now is Professor John Mearsheimer of the University of Chicago. Great friend of the show. We're honored always to speak to him.
Yeah,
Thank you very much for
God
joining us, sir.
damn it.
My pleasure to be here.
So, Professor, we haven't been able to speak with you since the outbreak of the conflict. We have been reading quite a bit and looking at some
I'm playing
realist
until I get
scholars.
bored.
First, we've
Or
seen this
annoyed.
piece from Foreign Affairs. Let's put this up here on the screen. Curious for your reaction. He says, how America's war on Iran backfired and Tehran will now set the terms for peace. Your general reaction, not only to the war as where we are stand now, but how, if any way, that this actual conflict could come to a close.
Well, I think that starting this war was a colossal mistake.
I want to hear
And
that. How does
it's
he think gonna
hard to
close?
believe that President Trump did this.
Hard to believe.
Not simply
I'm
because
already
he
over
had
it.
promised
Sorry.
that he would not start any more wars and certainly not get us into a forever war. But if you're going to go to war, this is the last war that you want to start. And the reason is that the Iranians hold most of the cards. If you think about where we are today, and you think more importantly about further marching up the escalation ladder, Iran can do enormous damage to the international economy. And there's nothing much we can do to prevent that. So we're in a precarious situation right now. And I would argue we don't have an exit ramp, but as we move forward, things only get worse.
We've been talking a lot this morning on the Israeli and U.S. attacks on the South Pars gas field in Iran, and then Iranian retaliation both in Saudi and Kuwait and in Qatar. What do you make of the significance of these developments and this escalation?
I think it's hugely significant. And I think the fact that President Trump issued this post where he made it clear how angry he was at the Israelis for doing this is evidence of that.
Of course.
Look, President Trump is doing everything he can to keep oil prices under $100 a barrel. And
I'm
that
back
is
again.
not easy to do.
Oh, came back. All right.
I'm hearing him.
My screen like completely frozen, and I don't know. Discord's being weird,
Okay.
I guess.
Did you hear what he said?
About Trump is desperately wants to keep the oil prices a certain thing.
Yeah, he's doing everything he can. He issued a statement condemning Israel.
We accept it at face value because I went to school for this.
All right, here we go. I'm not trying to diss the guy. It's just like,
No, it's just annoying.
oh, it's like use some critical thinking, man. Like imagine someone is like the villain in a movie, or their thinking process is a little bit outside the box and just here it is. Whatever I put out on the surface is me. Like maybe that isn't the case. Maybe they use deception or smoke and mirrors or whatever. But all right, here we go.
And I think the fact that President Trump issued this post where he made it clear how angry he was at the Israelis for doing
actually
this
angry.
is evidence of that. Look, President Trump is doing everything he can to keep oil prices under $100 a barrel. And that is not easy to do. And I would note that he has taken sanctions off Russian oil and he has allowed Iran to sell its oil. It's very important to understand that Iran is selling its oil on world markets. Iran has been allowed to send oil through the Strait of Hormuz. And the
I heard all this on Twitter, basically. But let's keep playing. I'm just saying, like, I heard all that already on Twitter, which is kind of funny. But here we go.
reason that Trump is allowing this is because he wants all the oil he can possibly get in the world oil markets. And he's been quite successful, at least at keeping the price of a barrel down under slightly less than $100. Well, what happened yesterday when the Israelis hit this natural gas field in Iran, and then the Iranians retaliated first against Qatar, and now apparently they're attacking Saudi Arabian sites as well, is that the price of a barrel of oil is going up. I saw it was up around $115 this morning. This is disastrous for the United States and for the world economy. And if things continue to escalate, which is a real possibility, the economic situation will only get worse. Yeah. So what happened?
For who? For who, John Mearsheimer? For who? Is Trump going to be like struggling? Will his family be struggling? Will his friends be struggling? In fact, I'm going to play the fucking clip now. These are videos I was like not going to. I was like, all right, let me just leave this for another video. But we're here, so fuck it. Where's this shit at? Here we go. Listen to this. Turn his volume up now. Jesus Christ, this mouse. All right, here we go.
But the fact is that the U.S. economy is fundamentally sound, and that if it were to be extended, it wouldn't really disrupt the U.S. economy very much at all. It would hurt consumers, and we'd have to think about, if that continued, what we would have to do about that. But that's like really the last of our concerns right now, because we're very confident that this thing is going ahead of schedule. But the fact.
Yeah, the consumers will hurt, but we'll work hard. We'll turn that around someday. But what's the big deal? What? Anyways,
gotta go.
What was I forgot the guy's name. The dude that was one of the financial guys for the Trump administration in the first term, when they were like losing all these federal jobs that got lost.
Is it Steve Mnuchin?
No. Forgot his name. But this dude got on TV and he's like, "Yeah, listen, I know it's like 100-something thousand jobs, but like that's only like 0.3 of the like GDP. Like, what's the big deal?" Just like no care about it. Like that's what that sounds like. So when I hear these Mearsheimer guys, I feel like I'm being an asshole towards them. When I hear people on content or TV or whatever the fuck saying like, "Oh my God, look at the stocks, look at this, look at that," and you see like, well, how are these guys going to be living? Guess what? On the screen, these three people will be fine. If fucking oil goes, they'll be fine. They're chilling. If oil barrels go up in price, like they're fine. If gas prices go up, they're chilling. If grocery prices go up, they're good. All three of them and their families are fine. These guys are in taking care of territory. Straight up. It's like it's just different. It's different worlds. It is what it is. But I hope it is a concern for like the average person, right? Hopefully that's the concern. Like, this can be catastrophic for the regular person. But it would be a little bit refreshing to say, like, well, I'll be fine. But like for them, it's gonna be fucked up. Because that seems to be the case. But outside of these three, like someone like Trump, or did I freeze again? Jesus
No,
Christ.
I can hear you.
Is,
Oh,
is
it
your
says
screen
you've been
failing?
disconnected. It says you've been disconnected.
Mine does too.
Sit
Okay.
tight. We're patching you back in.
Okay.
That's what it says.
Yeah. People like Trump or his administration, those guys will be fine. They're doing the dirt, and there is no blowback for them. Just like with war. Oh my God, there's unintended consequences. There's blowback. There's shit that's gonna fuck things up. I don't ever say that in regards to those. Like, hey, these guys are like, man, something's gonna come back to you guys. Like, no, not at all. I say it for the fucking dupe in the crowd saying, yeah, do it. Let's invade this country. Let's fuck them up. There'll be blowback for those guys. They're the ones that are going to get fucked. And that's why I have to yell at them in particular versus, you know, the Trumps of the world and the presidents and the fucking secretaries and all that shit. But all right, let's keep playing. Unless Trump really cares that much about his image, I don't think he does in that sense. But all right, let's play. Here we go. This is frustrating.
Yesterday really mattered. And that, again, is why President Trump made it clear to the Israelis, don't ever do this again.
Right. Well, Professor, what do you think the best and worst case scenarios
like a
are
boomer,
at this
though.
point? Start with the best.
The best case is that we work out some sort of negotiated settlement, but I don't see how you can do that. The fact is that to get Iran to stop the war, you have to make major concessions to the Iranians. And I find it hard to imagine the United States and Israel making the sort of concessions that are necessary to get Iran to stop. So I see the war going on. And the worst case scenario is that you continue to march up the escalation ladder, and the consequences for the international economy are devastating. And, you know, we were just talking about oil, but it's not only oil. 1/3 of the world's fertilizer comes through the Strait of Hormuz. And it's quite clear that what's happening is that without fertilizer, farmers all around the world, including in the United States, are beginning to have major problems planting and harvesting food. And what this means for the future is that the price of food is going to go up. So not only is the price of gas going to go up and the price of oil going to go up, but the price of food is going to go up. And this is going to create major league inflation, which is going to slow down growth and result in the deaths of many people all around the world. So the potential for disaster here is just not to be underestimated.
Yeah. Well, and to your point about the unlikelihood of
I want to ask this guy, like, do you think in that White House over there, do you think they view it as a disaster for them? Are they thinking in those terms? Are they doing that? I wish I could ask this guy that question. Like, what do you think they're thinking?
Disaster for them. PR,
What?
or you mean personally? You mean PR or you mean personally?
Your audio, I couldn't even hear you. Say that again, dude.
You hear me now?
Go ahead. I turned you up a little bit.
Okay. Do you mean PR for the White House, or do you mean the individuals in the White House that are personally affected by the price of oil going up?
No, I want to know. I want to ask Mearsheimer, do you think they care in the sense of, oh my God, Johnny the farmer's fucked? Do they actually care about that, or gas prices going? Like, do they actually care about that? In which case, if they don't care, if he's like, yeah, these guys don't care about them. If he says that, it's like, okay, then your assessments need to start changing around a little bit. You need to start digging into a different topic now at this point. Because it's not about, oh my God, my poor Americans are suffering. I'm the president and my Americans are suffering. I need to do something about it. It can't be that at that point, right? So thus the priorities change in regards to how you talk about these topics. That's why I want to ask him that question, personally. Because, once again, it's no offense to him. He could be a well-meaning guy, just a kind of academic-style talker about these topics. Fair enough. But I want to know where he's at in regards to that, because we're at a late stage in the game, I think, personally. Well, we've always been at a late stage, in my opinion. We've always been on, like, the cusp of fucking everything up. We're already there, but like really, like externally, materially bad, fucking things up. And I'm like, man, we need to start like going at the actual problem at some point. We can't delay, stall, write a book, and then go back to what we were doing anyways because the leadership changed, right? Like, oh my God, okay, things are better now because the leadership changed. And they might do the same exact actions that lead to the exact same problems because we're not actually assessing the actual fucking problem, in my opinion, at least. That's why I want to know, like, hey, what do you think the mindset is? What's the motive, the mindset? Like, what is that? But, yeah. All right. Let's keep playing. Here we go.
It's not to be underestimated.
Yeah. Well, and to your point about the unlikelihood of a negotiated settlement, not only do you have the Iranians that are like, no, you haven't experienced enough pain yet, so we would demand significant concessions in order to come to the table at this point. They don't seem interested in talking right now at all. You also have the Israelis that want this thing to keep going. I wanted to get your reaction specifically to the assassination of Ali Larijani. There's been a lot of speculation that the Israelis are effectively trying to make sure that any potential off-ramps are taken off the table, that anyone who could have been an interlocutor, could have been a negotiator is assassinated, so they are no longer available, that you have more hardliners who are in place within the Iranian government. I wonder if that's your assessment as well.
Now, before he answers that, I mean, we were talking about this yesterday, and like, once again, they did all the years of buildup and actions being taken, right? On paper, on the surface, all these actions being taken, right? And let's say that Iran and the U.S. and Israel are actual opposition to each other, right? Then you have the 12-day war, right? Where those events happen, they play out, and it's like, okay, if Iran actually is opposition, what would their mindset be? Wouldn't they have to guarantee, like, it has to be guaranteed that you will not fuck with us again because you can just lick your wounds, recoup, and then do it again later. That could be that's possibly the mindset. So thus, this idea of like, they killed this guy, so thus, all negotiations have been fucked because they killed this one guy. Like, what the U.S. and Israel has done on the surface, at least, right? What we've seen they've done on the surface, how could, like, there is no like room there to be like, all right, guys, listen. Yeah, we blew up some of these people. Fine, listen, but let's make a deal. How does that work that way? So whether that guy's alive or not, what's his name? Larigi, fucking name is whatever. Sorry, I suck with names, foreign names at least. Him being alive or not, like, what would he do? All right, U.S. guys, listen, I'm a more peaceful Iranian, okay? I'm not a hardliner. I'm more peaceful. Let's talk this out. Like, no, dude. It actually, on the surface, it would be about survival, essentially. And what do you expect people to do? Let's be real. Unknowing people of themselves and the bigger picture, in my opinion. What do you expect them to do when you put them in a corner and every time they, like, try on the surface to say, like, hey, listen, man, we want to negotiate, they get attacked for it? What do you expect them to do? Expect the same shit we've been getting. Expect that. We're like, yo, fuck negotiations. We're not doing this shit. Because last time, and the time before that, and the time before that, and the time before that, and then on it goes. We got screwed over. So thus, like, on the surface, how do you make, like, what? If we didn't kill this guy, like, negotiations would happen? Like, where? I don't get it. Where? How and where? That makes no fucking sense to me at all. But Crystal put it in that fucking lens, that context of that one guy died, so, like, there's no negotiations now. Like, what were they going to negotiate? I don't get it. What were they going to negotiate? All right, guys, we blew each other up enough. Let's stop here and give a nice little pause until 6 months from now. Then we'll go back to bombing each other. Come back to the same exact scenario anyways. Is that the
They
negotiations?
did agree to do that.
I
They
know.
did agree to do
I
that.
know. And this the 12-day war, that was the thing. I'm like, yo, there was no paper signed. There's no treaty signed. This is likely to pop off again.
What would a contract do? A peace treaty. What would
I say
which is a
exactly to that
contract.
too. Exactly. Although it may be more reassuring to the public, but like, what would that actually do? Like, they already
We got history of peace treaties for everywhere, and they get violated all the fucking time.
or you could just leave them. The Iran nuclear deal, they pulled out of it. The Trump administration pulled out of that. Do you hope for a deal with Trump and then like hopefully someone you like gets into office and will protect that deal or whatever the fuck, or protect the treaty? But then what
Yeah, the
again? Like, what if
idea-
another Trump happens in 20 years from now or whatever?
Yeah, the idea of violating a contract is that there's some kind of punishment for violating the contract. But if it's at the level of two countries and it's peace treaty, I mean, you're already saying to the other country, I'm about to punish you for not being part of my agreement. Or you're the one that's violating the agreement and you're still saying I'm going to punish you regardless of the peace treaty. So what the fuck?
Yeah, it's kind of. I mean, what Trump actually did was like delegitimize the previous administration. That's how, like, on paper, how it was like done. Essentially, delegitimize them. That this deal sucks. These guys are not legitimate, statesmen. And then threw the deal away. Essentially, like nothing stops that from happening again in the future. Like, oh, these guys are they're auto petters. We can just get rid of this shit, bro. Fuck that. Right.
Are we out of the proliferation treaty with Russia on limitations on nukes? I think we're out of that.
That was in the first term as well, I believe.
I mean, it expired and we didn't renew it, correct?
I'm kind of dumb on the details, but I did.
I think that's where we're at today.
Okay, fair enough.
So that's one of those things like, okay, you don't want to rework this deal out? Okay, we'll both start making nukes again.
Well, it's willy-nilly because we're people. It's people. It's not some sort of piece of paper dictating behaviors. Like, I bet these guys call people stupid for following the piece of paper. I bet the people in office and these apparatuses call us stupid for following the piece of paper.
Neither side ever followed the piece of paper. That's what I believe.
Well, I think
We've always been working at nuclear, like, better nukes.
Yeah, for sure.
Dumb of the phrase that it is. They've always been working at better nukes and more nukes.
And they call us stupid for not wanting, like, thinking or believing that, like, oh, they're not doing this because they agreed to not do this. They called those people stupid for thinking that way. Like, you idiots, you think that's how the world works? Like, nah, we like you guys are mooks for thinking that or falling for that. Like, come on. When you speed and when I speed, like in a car, right? When you do it and I do it, it's two different worlds. It's different for me than your shit because you guys are idiots. Then when an actual major event happens to where they're threatened too, once again, like a meteor or some asteroid or some shit like that, right? They'll follow the same protocol of these guys can't handle it because they don't know how to cheat the system. So we know how to do that. So thus we can't trust. We are over here. We can't trust these babies over there because they'll freak out because they're babies. We know better, and we'll fucking deal with it. Or not deal with it. Maybe we'll find a bunker to hide in as these things hit the Earth and everyone on the surface dies, right? Or nukes or whatever. But okay, let's keep playing. Let's hear John Mearsheimer's answer to what Crystal was asking. Although, I mean, I think it's pretty simple. But here we go.
It certainly looks like that. I mean, anybody who is moderate inside of the Israeli government is taken out. But I
The
think
Iranian
that-
government.
excuse me, the Iranian government is taken out. But I think it's quite clear that more generally, the Israelis have this theory that if they can decapitate the regime, that's a quick way to victory. And this is a fallacious
Other people think
strategy. It
that's
just
Trump's
doesn't
idea.
work. So the idea that they can, kill Iranian leaders and that's going to bring the war to an end is not a smart idea. And again, I think you're right that what the Israelis are trying to do also
I've heard this, but
is
why?
take out the moderates and see them replaced by more hardliners, making it more difficult to get a negotiated settlement. But I would argue, Crystal, that no matter who's in charge in Iran, it's hard to see how you get a deal. And the reason is that we would have to make major league concessions to the Iranians to put an end to this war. And that would involve things like ending sanctions or taking at least most of the sanctions off the table, maybe paying reparations, and also just working out a deal where Iran is guaranteed that it won't be attacked in another 6 months. You want to remember that there was a war
I
in
swear I
June
didn't watch
where
this, by the way.
Israel and the United States attacked Iran, and here we are, not even a year later, and we're back at it. The Iranians want this to be the last attack by Israel and the
Where's
United
my guest
States.
spot on Breaking
So we'd
Points?
have to give them some sort of guarantees. I find it hard to imagine the United States and Israel doing that.
Right. You know, Professor.
Once again, and I was trying to explain, like, that's the on the surface reading of things, like, where it's, I think, logically just blatant. And he's just saying it. He's just saying the blatant on the surface thing. Which I'm not, once again, I'm not trying to shit on him for that.
But what is this?
What's what?
What is this argument I keep hearing about, like, IRCG? We're talking about Iran's military, whatever.
Republican, yeah.
Or their
Republican Guard.
government.
Yeah. That's military wing. That's
The
military.
idea of, hold on. Okay, so Iran's government, we take out their leaders. That's not good enough to stop a war. Why is this the claim?
Why is this the claim?
Yeah.
From Mearsheimer, or do you mean like in general? In general?
In general, why is that the claim?
Because
I've heard this. We've taken out 50 leaders. They're still fighting, sure. But if we keep taking out more leaders, why would that eventually end their power?
well,
It's worked on countries before. What's different about Iran than anywhere else?
well, I think the idea is that these guys are more. It's not like a ragtag group of rebels or militias. It's actually like a unified military and government apparatus, as in the story that was said pretty early on. Once again, not saying whether it's true or not, but like this was said that certain let's say battalions or military outfits in regards to the IRGC, right, lost communication, but they knew the directive anyways. So they knew what they were doing anyways in regards to the motive of what the overall government wants. As in, like, the idea is like they're more disciplined in their military action than a ragtag group.
I think it's a claim to what the people's mindset is. But then you're also at the same time saying there's revolutionaries in the country too, right? So which is it?
But not as many as they might be saying. So that's why the narrative is what it is, or at least the narrative is saying that they don't believe there's that many revolutionaries like that. Hey, God.
I don't think their statements of, well, if we take out more leaders, that's not going to be enough to take out Iran. I mean, that's a possible thing. If we take out enough of their leaders, that ends their regime. It's just same thing could happen to America if we took out enough of our leaders and some other country did it to us.
Yeah,
it could be the end of regime in a sense. Is it? I don't know where the claim is. Is it a claim on theocracy? Is it a claim on Sunni? Or is it a claim on kingdom?
it's a claim on
what is
country. I think the idea.
I just don't understand how you got that assessment. We would have history of that happening, and I can't think of another one where you compare it to where they got bombarded and then lost all of their leaders and still maintain this. I guess like they just choose a new leader, or
Yeah,
it's messing me up. I've heard this like 20 times in the last month.
fair enough. Well, their logic is broken.
We took out 54 of their leaders, and sure, they've replaced somewhat of it. But at some point in my mind is you always need chieftains
for logistics and stuff like that, right? But like, well,
chieftain will form.
Well, first,
or chieftain will form.
Sure, but like they didn't actually take out all of the leadership. But you're saying like hypothetically, if they did, that would mean the country would fall, right? Or at least like the structure, the social structure would fall or whatever the fuck.
Right.
I guess, but like they'd have to be able to do that, right? And there's not enough of a. I think the idea of there's definitely rebellion. Right? There's definitely people that don't like what's happening in their own government in Iran, but to the degree of like, okay, now we're being bombed for like where they're hitting us, to like hitting civilians, or even like, hey, let us choose our own government. Don't just can't just kill them all and be like, see, look, now you're free now. See, like, no, we wanted to choose differently, and not just kill them.
Well, here's what I'm really getting at.
There's different ideologies.
Okay,
Don't just kill them.
Let's say we killed the 54 leaders. Let's say there's 200. So that leaves 146 left. Let's just put a number to it. So I get through that 146 and I kill them all. Now we're to a level where they don't have like leaders as in military. Think like the rest are all 146 are military. Know how to fucking shoot the missiles. Know how to shoot a gun.
That's too many. That's way too many. wait, you're saying that
have the issue of like hold on. We get through all that and we get to it's just citizens left. There's still the citizens are going to formalize around a leader. They're not going to have the knowledge to fire a missile, but they are going to at least be able to grab a gun and fucking defend their neighborhood. That's still a leader.
Sure, but that's like surrender time. If it's like your military, like they all get wiped out. Like, yeah, that's GG's. That's
right.
That's
so
that's
that
surrender.
Is a possibility.
Not that logistically on paper, I don't see that as happening unless you send in ground forces, and even then you don't kill all the military. You make them give up too. Like, hey, you guys are surrounded. It's over. Give up. Right? That'd be like the scenario for that.
If we just keep bombarding all the new leaders that like whack-a-mole until it's over with whack-a-mole, then yeah, we could regime change that shit.
No, they once again have these guys here, right? And just you send in actual ground forces, you could regime change them and turn into a full-blown chaotic place where there is no sense of like you do so many strategical things where you cut people off from each other and all that stuff, like really cut them off, not just radio signals out or this politician's dead, so thus the whole thing falls apart. Not like that, but like actually like they did in Iraq, right? Neighborhood by neighborhood, house by house. Is this guy in here? Okay, he's not. Move on. Oh, he is in here. Well, arrest him, or probably ends in a gunfight, possibly, or whatever, right? Yeah, they could do that, but that's, I guess, PR wise risky on the surface, like very risky.
They don't want to do that.
Maybe they, once again, I don't think they care about them. I don't think they care about them.
Time how PR or regime change happens.
It's more of like, how do you hold on to the minds that are that are already either on the fence or supporting us? How do you hold on to those minds? Because if you say like, well, 100,000 U.S. troops died fighting this war over here, like that can't be said. That might be even too rough for the boomer on their lazy boy watching Fox News all day. That might be too much for them, even here, right? At this point. But I don't think they would do it that way, personally. Which is why, like, you're seemingly in stalemate territory, but, like, who knows? There could be some event that happens where it takes it up stalemate territory and turns it into, well, Iran's fucked. It could be a type of bomb that hits. Maybe not personnel. I think Iran's ready for that shit. I think damn near at this point, if a private gets separated, he knows the directive. But he can't just do it by himself, right? He needs like actual like other teammates doing the same thing all over the country, right? But it yeah, I think it would take a lot for that to happen. And thus I'm like, that's why I was so confused yesterday. I'm like, what are we doing here? How do we end this?
But if you do get if you get to the point of it's just, for us, it's called E5 or lower. That's enlisted men. You got rid of every single officer. They would not know the secrets that our officers keep hidden. Like, there's some stuff our enlisted men do not have access to, knowledge-wise, location-wise, stuff like that. How strategies, they're not taught strategies like officers are taught. Tactics.
Yeah, fair enough, but I'm telling you, these guys on the surface have been well aware of the possibilities of them. They've seen, like, for a number of years now, have seen their surrounding countries get fucked with and taken down or taken over, or regime change and all that stuff, and thus I think even a lot of the lower guys know what the fuck's going on and will act accordingly, probably. And I don't think the little propaganda from U.S. or Israel that there's like, oh my God, there's fucking 20 million people ready to rise up and take the country back. I don't think that's real either. There's definitely people that don't like I think the majority probably don't like their government in Iran. But now it's like, okay, 9/11's happening. Now we band together, whether you voted Democrat or Republican, right? We're all behind George W. Bush as far as like the average person, right? It's hard it'd be hard for them to be like, oh, this was done by like this is our government's fault of why they bombed this, why the U.S. bombed a schoolgirl's fucking elementary, right? It's Iran's fault that happened. It's hard to make that case. It really is. Especially if they know about Gaza. If these are young people revolting against their government, right? And they see Gaza, there's no way they look at those guys as their fucking saviors. So, you guys fucking suck. No chance we want you as our saviors against our government. There's no chance. Like, you guys can't be the ones doing this. Same with the U.S. They saw Iraq happen. Like, you guys are not our fucking heroes. Get the fuck out of here. So when the U.S. or Israel bombs certain leaders and shit like that, You're like, oh my God, they're going to try to Iraq us. They're going to try to Gaza us.
Well, also,
I think.
another thing we do is we give these like breaks in these bombings so that if a revolution can form, and it will form, in the sense of let the crowd like overthrow their government. The soldier won't fire on them because they think, you know what, my family might be in that crowd. So they let that mindset happen while we're at war with places. That's why it's not like just consistently a fucking drop of bombs. They're giving these like, we'll drop bombs for 3 hours. We'll wait 2 days before we'll drop bombs again. They could just consistently drop bombs. It's easier if there's an actual revolution.
Oh, they have logistics on the ground for sure. They have people that they're like, okay, this guy's ready to go. This person or this leader or this group of leaders, right, that are willing to take up arms and take down the government or whatever the fuck. But I'm just saying, like, I don't think they have enough of them. There's not enough.
Well, I mean, you can also change the minds. Enough people die from it to where it scares the people to want to do a revolution just because they don't want to be next. And then once that happens, the soldier won't fire on the crowd because what if that's my family? That's somebody I know. Mentality starts coming into the soldier's mind.
Maybe, but then they've seen Syria, Iraq, Gaza. Like, I think they're more aware of that stuff right now in 2026.
Both are possible. Yeah,
I think they're more aware. Like, they want
both
us
are
to be those
possible.
guys. Don't
There
they?
have been plenty of soldiers open fired on crowds, so it
No,
could go
no,
either way.
I'm not saying that. Well, that's for
I'm not
sure
saying
possible.
there. I'm saying in the world.
No,
I'm saying in the world.
no, that's possible there too, for sure. I'm just saying, like, the people that will rise, like, hey, they're killing us, so we need to rise up and take down our government. Meanwhile, like, I think they know about. I think they're very much aware about Iraq. Once again, Iraq, Libya, Syria,
Yes.
Gaza. So to where they're like, if we just take up arms and take down our government, that does not guarantee anything for us. We might get fucking bombed too. Might be fucking us over, and they'll handpick some person we don't know to be our new leader. Like, I think they're aware of that too. I think they're aware of that. Now, some will be like, yeah, let's do it. Let's fucking grab up arms and do this. But I don't think enough are doing. Like, it's. I think Iran, on the surface, Iran has been way too organized so far for all of this, for that to happen. Right? In my opinion.
We haven't done a leaflet campaign there yet either. So they start doing that. That tell you like that's what we're starting to do. And they tell America when we do that in their countries.
A leaflet campaign?
Yeah,
I know what that is, but
we
like,
fly.
that's not working. I don't think that's working either. That won't work. That's not
They
enough.
haven't tried it yet.
That is not enough.
They haven't tried it yet.
Fair enough, but I don't think that's gonna work. There's not enough people. Like, there's plenty of people upset with their. Once again, plenty of people upset with their government, right? Just like the U.S., plenty of people upset with their government, right? But to get them to be like, okay, let's fucking just kill these guys, get them out of here, or let's support the people that are bombing us to take out our government, like, that is, I don't see that. That's too extreme, except for a small few of like an amount of people in Iran. That's not enough people that are willing to do that. So thus, that idea is like,
You start
nope.
You know what the
In my
you know what
opinion.
the leaflet. You know what the leaflets say, basically, in a condescending way. It's basically, look, if you overthrow your government, we won't kill all of, like, the war will stop. It's basically summarizing what's being said on the leaflets.
Fair enough, but I think all they're doing is creating more IRGC members. Like, they're gonna join the military. Say, all right, because look, we're actually like we found a bigger revolution to be a part of, which is fuck with the U.S. to make them realize that you can't just run over Iran like that. Like we'll decide if our leadership's gone or not you, because they've seen all these conflicts, they've seen them play out. That's the on the surface reading, and that's, I'll say, very much a possibility, but we'll have to see. Who knows? Let's play more of this in this marathon of a video. Here we go.
It's hard to imagine the United States and Israel doing that.
Right. You know, Professor, what do you also make now?
So guaranteed that it won't be attacked in another 6 months. You want to remember that there was a war in June where Israel and the United States attacked Iran, and
Call
here
me
we
Dr.
are,
YellBro, Mearsheimer.
not even a year later, and we're back at it. The Iranians want this to be the last attack by Israel and the United States, so we'd have to give them some sort of guarantees. I find it hard to imagine the United States and Israel doing that.
Right. You know, Professor, what do you also make now of U.S. alliances? And so I've been talking ad nauseum here on the show about the punishment that we're giving to the Japanese, the South Korean, the Taiwanese economies, about the GCC nations, which are, you know, projected to contract 14, 15%. Qatar now, I mean, their literal lifeblood is natural gas. Who knows how long it will take to rebuild their own facilities, even if the war were to end today. And we magically, you know, gave them sanctions relief and somehow miraculously convinced them not to pursue a nuclear weapon, which I think they would probably want to do at this point. Let's say all of that happened. If everything ends today, what are the state and strategic logic of actual U.S. alliances, which are far more important to the U.S. than Israel after this war?
This thing, in my opinion, the thing will happen by hook or by crook, because once again, Iran is the only one not playing ball in that. On paper, on the surface, they're the only one in that territory. It's sorry, other than Yemen, but they don't look at Yemen as super valuable. No, I'm saying like in the Gulf countries, right, in that territory, in the Middle East, Iran is the only one not playing ball, other than Yemen. So thus, like, do this, and then like, okay, we're all right. Listen, we'll stop, and then, but that's gonna just guarantee a comeback if the ideas stay the same, if the leadership stays the same on the surface. That's gonna guarantee, whatever, 5 years from now, 10 years from now, whatever, until Iran's like, yo, you know what? Let's put some McDonald's in here. Let's let's westernize our territories. Let's do some gaming tournaments. Let's bring like fucking wrestling into Tehran. Have wrestling events there. Other than that, like it's just gonna guarantee another, like, that's why like it looks so much like this is the actual like stomp of these creepy crawlies.
It has to be. They can't stop until they're done with Iran. Like, Iran is done.
Like that.
And Trump's saying it's only going to be a month, and we got like 2 weeks left to that month.
Yeah, I don't believe that. That was just bullshit. That was bullshit, honestly.
So this guy's saying if we just agreed to stop today, who would want to be on our side? Iran's leveling the shit out of some of these places.
Well, also look from, you know, if Iran's
it's hurting Japan.
What's the guarantee?
But he's saying it's hurting Japan. It's hurting Taiwan. They're going to have a GDP that drops 15%. I mean, that means they're going to go in austerity.
I think the president or the lady from Japan was with Trump today.
Yes.
And one reporter like asked
Pearl Harbor.
They needed to. There's your hook or by crook. That's the hook. You gotta do what we say.
Why didn't you tell us about that you're going to be? Why didn't you tell your allies that you're going to be bombing Iran? And he's like
a movie.
Why didn't you tell us about Pearl Harbor?
It's like a fucking
My
movie.
sister showed me that shit. I was dying. She was like, "Did you see Trump's viral moment of the day?" Like, oh God, what?
Oh, it's ridiculous. That's so.
God.
I'm sorry. It was funny though. That is hilarious. I'm sorry, but like, that's a crazy thing to fucking say. Bro.
And the lady was just like sitting there He's like, yeah, I mean, like, look at Japan. That's the best example. Why did you tell us about Pearl Harbor? It's like, yo.
Bitch.
She should have turned around to him and been like, yeah, why didn't you guys tell us about Nagasaki and Hiroshima and how you're going to drop the nuclear fucking choice? Like, yeah.
Listen, you gotta like, you can't just say it. You gotta be secret. You gotta be secret, just like Pearl Harbor. I'm talking about, right?
Starts like elbowing her, like, you know what I'm saying, right? Like Pearl Harbor, right? Like, oh my god, you embarrassment! Holy shit!
He's so embarrassing.
He's like trying to outflank
really
George
is.
W. Bush and being like, like that guy. He's like, oh, you're that guy that no one likes. Got it. How about yeah, this is yeah, I don't think they're gonna give up the U.S. And it froze. Love that. All right, we're back.
It's back now.
Yeah. All right. Let's hit play.
I'd like to hear his answer to that question.
Yeah. All right, here we go.
Well, we've done significant damages to our allies around the world. There's just no question about that. If you look at what's happening in Japan,
like what could
and in India and in South Korea, this is disastrous. And the same thing is true with regard to Europe. By the way, there have been all sorts of reports that instability is returning to Iraq, that the Iran war is spilling over into Iraq. We could go on and on. I mean, the negative.
I was gonna say, like, wasn't it already there? Like, what? Like, what stability has?
Yeah, and they brought up Soleimani. Soleimani was like with 3 other Iraqi, like kind of like cultural leaders, at least militia leaders. So like,
yeah, from the Iraqi Shia people.
So like that was clearly a part of that. Although Soleimani took the headlines, but like those guys were there too. That got killed. So this is
because doesn't Iraq, they have their own Ayatollah too, like the Shia as well, and then you have like Kurds there somewhere as well. It's like a whole fucking situation, seems like.
That story went away, didn't it?
Listen, I'm asking the kids to you know, be our ground force.
The 3 places that I would love to visit in the Middle East, honestly, like is Iraq, Yemen, and Iran. It's like, and Syria, of course, but it's just like interesting. It's like those are the forbidden.
Why don't we like just like give the assholes their own
Historically,
island?
you want to see some buildings? Is that what you mean?
No, there's like specific spots I'd like to visit, like the Gateway in Yemen.
I'd
really
love
interesting.
to just like leave the country one day. That'd
Yeah,
be
and I
awesome.
want to see like their aqueduct system. They have this really interesting way of like transporting water throughout the different buildings. I don't know. It's an interesting place.
Well,
so
we have to save the world.
Forbidden.
To actually
Just like my country.
enjoy ourselves. We have to actually save the world first.
Yeah.
Unfortunately. Well, yeah. We get something from it, but these assholes don't, I think. These little creepy crawlies in government. Little empty vessels. But all right. There we go.
Consequences of this war are extensive, and the fact is we're not going to get a negotiated settlement anytime soon. This war is going to go on, and the Iranians, of course, have a vested interest in keeping it going until the United States is willing to make the concessions that they demand.
Let's go ahead and put C4 up on the screen here. Israel has also used this as an opportunity to...
Crystal, you can't do that. You can't say, let's put C4 here and sort of like a building blowing up. You can't do that. That was just...
What is C4 mean? What you mean C4?
Like the bomb C4. Let's put C4 up and show a building blowing up. That's a very, pardon me, joke, but it is what it is.
Probably on purpose.
Gallows humor. Forgive me. All right, here we go.
States is willing to make the concessions that they demand.
Let's go ahead and put C4 up on the screen here. Israel has also used this as an opportunity to, it appears, annex additional territory in Lebanon, certainly to attack within Lebanon. Here they are, downing a complete apartment building in central Beirut. They, are just Also warning residents, saying that they want to remove them permanently from portions of South Lebanon. Here's another image of the apartment building being destroyed. And
Why are they doing it like that?
Of a major
Like that's
city.
Isn't there other ways to like?
That looks like fucking 9/11, bro. What the fuck was that?
Like the Building 7.
Is that from a bomb?
No, controlled demolition.
Right?
Yeah, it's the
Okay. That looked like controlled demolition to me, like personally. I'm like the way it was like
they put
done.
it on like different floors. Yeah, and they blow it up.
That looked crazy.
They blow it up, designed to collapse in on itself, so it doesn't.
Yeah,
fall into
like
the
tilt.
Literally
and
just
hit
like Building 7. Like literally exactly like Building 7. Yeah.
Yeah, that's why everybody questions it.
Wait, but are they? Is the shore watching? Are they saying like a bomb hit the bottom of it or something and like made it?
No, they're
Oh,
saying
that-
it's a controlled demolition. They're saying that Israel's blowing up a bunch of buildings in Lebanon.
Okay.
Yeah, they're saying
they're
they're
controlled
doing
territory in
it for the
southern
purpose
Lebanon.
of they don't want people living in the southern side of Lebanon.
Okay, fair enough. That makes sense because they are basically occupying.
Well, that's what they're saying, but I don't really know
Lebanon.
because it's kind of hard like to get the news from different places in these different countries. I don't know.
Yeah.
Like, I don't like why would Israel like call for that? I don't know. I'm confused.
In like an
I don't
active
get why-
city. Look at that
In Beirut.
skyline.
I don't get.
That looks pretty.
I
It's a
don't
pretty
get
skyline.
why they're saying
Oh yeah.
you can't live in the
Miami.
southern side of Lebanon, but they're showing us a demolition of a building in Beirut. Are you saying that's the southern side of Beirut and it's parts of Beirut they don't want people living in?
But why is
I don't know
Israel
the
deciding that? Doesn't Lebanon have a government? Remember, doesn't it
Yes.
have a government of all the three religions? The Christians, the Jews, the Muslims.
Those
They have, like,
guys.
yeah.
Narrative wise, those guys are called they're called bitches essentially. Lebanon's like government. They're saying like they're either owned by the Israelis or they're owned by Hezbollah. Has been the narrative in regards to them.
But I'm asking, what are they saying? Like,
Yeah.
what is the narrative coming from from Lebanon? You know what I mean? Like, I want to know that.
There's been
what I'm saying.
the things I've seen. There's been ideas of like Lebanon's like, all right, listen, Hezbollah, you have to disarm or leave, but they're like, yo, what's the term? What's the people term for Lebanon? Are they Lebanese? Is that the word?
Lebanese, yeah.
Or,
Mhm.
oh, we're Lebanese. We're not going anywhere, right? But the government's like, yo, listen, all these guys are pissed off at you guys. Like, disarm, right? But it feels like the Lebanese government is just like a pushover, almost like on.
Yeah, it's like an empty shell. Yeah.
In the news story, like they're
I
like
was just
pushovers.
curious how well, interesting with Lebanon. It is one of those countries where most of their population, I think like 2/3 of their population, lives outside of Lebanon.
Fuck.
Yeah, like most of their population lives outside of Lebanon. There's not as many people left. So it's just it's like one of those
conflict
weird
territory or whatever.
Yeah, well, because like the French connection's also associated with that. They've got like these banks that are associated, like what is it, the Interbank? They've got all this like, there's a lot of lore, right? Like through because it became this hub for trafficking things and Anyway,
Didn't some French guy, like a French military guy, die? Like a French special forces guy die in Lebanon.
I would not be surprised.
Relatively recently, like within like the last 2 or 3 weeks, I think.
I would not be surprised. Yeah.
Macron
They're
had
deep
to
in
make
there.
like a statement about it or something. Yeah, okay.
Yeah. It would make sense because the French are deeply embedded in Lebanon, very deeply, because they're like that's like home based. Same with like Syria, they've got like outposts, but specifically Lebanon, and like that was the French connection, was like Marseille in France and Beirut.
Don't ruin France for me, Jesus Christ!
I'm just saying, just one part of it.
I want to go to Paris one day.
Apparently, Beirut is like organized very similarly to Chicago in terms of the way the city is designed, like the neighborhoods.
It actually
how
looks
things are
like
sectioned off.
if that said like Chicago, I'd be like, huh,
Mhm.
okay, look at that. Look
Yeah.
at Chicago. I might believe it. Honestly.
Mhm.
Other than like the ocean in the background or what the fuck that is.
Yeah. Well, that could be Lake Michigan
Oh, okay, yeah,
in a
fair
way,
enough.
like because it's just the way that the way they described it, because it was a book about the like French, connection kind of thing. But it was the way they were describing it, like in terms of how the city operates, that even like the way that it's divided up between different cultures,
Oh,
or
it's
between different
okay.
groups, and then also like all of the like mob and like
I was
kind of
about to say
mafia
that. I was about to say that.
activity. Yes, yeah, and yeah, just kind of that.
The gangsterism.
Mhm,
Like, okay.
mhm.
There's some sort of
Yeah.
fucking babyface Nelson or some fucking Al
Mhm, and it
Capone
was
running
kind of
around.
it was kind of like the hub, like it was like where the Western people and like the Arab, Arab money would
Yeah.
kind of the synthesis, the two worlds for a while at least. Yeah.
There's some Ali Capone running around somewhere over there.
Mhm.
All right. Let's keep playing. There we go.
Alibaba Capone.
There we go.
They want to remove them permanently from portions of South Lebanon. Here's another image of the apartment building being destroyed and demolished in the middle of a major city here. So can you talk to us about some of Israel's larger goals and what they're up to, not only in Lebanon,
Greater
West
Israel.
Bank, in Gaza, and what the project is?
Well, the Israelis, I think, have two goals in Lebanon. One, which is
What is the
to
project
permanently
again?
defang Hezbollah. And then two, I think they want to control all of the territory in southern Lebanon up to the Litani River. Before this war started, on February 28th, the conventional wisdom in the West was that Hezbollah had been defanged and was no longer a serious threat to Israel. Well, we've been watching Hezbollah lob missiles into northern Israel,
I got this on
lob
Twitter.
rockets
That's where I heard
into
this.
northern Israel, and all the evidence is that Hezbollah is
I could
very
do this.
much alive. I would also note to you that the Iranians are coordinating with Hezbollah, according to all the reports I've seen, and the Iranians are lobbying.
Hold on. Sorry, YouTube. Give it a second. Sit tight. We're patching you back in. It's just funny, like damn, man. I could just be on this show saying the same things he's saying, and just like honest to God, I could do that. All right, here we go. We're back.
Iranians are lobbying missiles into northern Israel, where Hezbollah is firing away. So in northern Israel, the Israeli citizenry is getting bombed quite regularly, which is disastrous for Israel. Furthermore, with regard to invading southern Lebanon and going up to the Litani River, if you look at the number of Hezbollah forces in that region, you look at the terrain, I think it's extremely unlikely that the Israelis are going to be successful. And again, I've been reading reports that the Israelis are losing lots of Merkava tanks, as you would expect, in their attempts to conquer more territory in southern Lebanon. So from an Israeli point of view, what's happening vis-a-vis
No,
Hezbollah
Merkab is it means
is
boat
not good.
in Tigrinya.
Oh, there's like a. Oh, is he saying like an actual word, or is he saying like a company? I can't
Well, he said
tell.
Merkaba, because even the Israeli, like the Star of David is, they actually call it the Merkaba, if I'm not mistaken, like in the Kabbalah, because it's supposed to be like a ship, like it's that travels through, different
lifeboat.
Yeah, like a kind of thing. Yeah, just anyway, but Merkaba means like ship, boat, some sort of like transporting mechanism. So
Okay, I was thinking like a company was named that or something like that. I don't know. I never heard of that in my life.
what did he call them? The Merkaba what?
Is it?
I'm just curious.
Merkava tanks.
Merkaba.
Or Merkava?
Okay.
I don't know.
Oh,
I was like,
Merkava. I mean, that could be the V and B sometimes get used Interesting.
I have no idea. Honestly.
Yeah.
All right.
Sorry. Proceed.
Here we go.
Attempts to conquer more territory.
Oh no, yep, that
Let him
is
say it
sorry.
again,
It
I've
is
been
yeah, the
reading
Merkava tanks. I mean, it means chariot. So it means chariot in Hebrew. Merkava means a boat or ship in Tigrinya specifically, but same thing. Some sort of chariot. It could be
Okay.
a yeah. So it is. It does
Vessel.
mean kind of the same thing, and that's kind of what their Star of David is named after as well. So it's like you're naming your fucking tanks after that. But okay. It's really interesting, just like symbolically speaking. But whatever.
Listen.
Wow.
It is what it is. Hey, I got nothing. These words.
Yeah,
These
sorry.
these words are
Go
new
ahead.
to me. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I've heard of like macabre, which is not the same word at all.
No, because merkab is like it could be a ship, but it could also mean like to catch up. Like if you use it a certain way in Tigrinya, like catching up, which also kind of goes into the ship because like what do? You know, you cover ground to catch up. So it does work, but anyway, I caught it. It's just a word. I'm like, I know that word. What is that? What are you saying? That's why I asked. But proceed. Sorry for the
Don't apologize. We're already on a marathon. Okay.
side tangent.
We are running marathons here. We're in. All right. Here we go.
Reports that the Israelis are losing lots of Merkava tanks, as you would expect, in their attempts to conquer more territory in southern Lebanon. So, from an Israeli point of view, what's happening vis-a-vis Hezbollah in Lebanon is not good news. They are not doing well. So, they're not doing well against Iran, and they're not doing well against Lebanon.
Then why? Why do they continue to do this? Netanyahu has bragged about
Because the
becoming a
US
quote,
will
global
back them.
superpower. I believe he said that in Hebrew. Is that really just about fulfilling his ambition to destroy any potential regional threat, even at the cost of becoming a global pariah and co-opting the United States of America, which itself may abandon it sometime in the future? Why would they continue to expend this much blood and
They're
treasure
crazy.
If it's
And
really
they
not
killed
in their
Jesus.
interest, or is it?
Well, I'd make 2 points. One is the Israelis are addicted to war. The Israelis believe in a very profound way in big stick diplomacy. They believe that they can pound countries into submission. They don't believe that you need political settlements to solve wars. They think that you can settle wars with the mailed fist. This is a foolish way of thinking, but it is the way they think. And that explains a lot of what's going on. The second thing is that it's quite clear that Prime Minister Netanyahu is in political trouble and legal trouble inside of Israel. And that his best strategy for surviving is a constant state of war. So many Israelis believe that as long as Prime Minister Netanyahu is in office, he's going to go to great lengths to keep the war machine in action, to keep fighting wars, because that's the best way he can achieve political survival. So I think it's those two factors together that account for what Israel.
The thing he's talking about is criminal survival. Or sorry, escaping criminal or criminality, essentially. It's not political.
Yeah.
Like, oh, I'll look bad if I, if they make these charges and go to trial for it. Like, no, I think the idea is like he goes to jail. That's the idea on that he's like actually talking about. Not saying I believe that. I think the guy's gonna get a fucking pardon. And then it's like, oh well, what was your point about Netanyahu again? His motives are what again? But separate issue. But he's whatever. He's kind of saying it as though like he's going to continue war, which I've heard 10 million times already, for the sake of delaying his prosecution. Right? It is kind of the idea he's saying. It's like, okay.
Was the U.S. at peace when Bibi's not in office?
No. Well, define peace. Is there headlines about us bombing Somalia
talking about
160 fucking times?
Continuous war. and like that Israel's addicted to war, and like
Yeah,
this
they're
is
crazy.
because
Or
BB wants to stay in power. But like, okay, this is all BB. But like, how do you explain the rest of what's going on? Because-
well, that's why I like bringing up. That's why I try not to use the word "we" when it comes to certain foreign policy things, and these guys shouldn't use Israel when it comes to certain foreign policy things. They should say maybe the apparatus, or if they can name every individual that's involved in this, they should do that. Otherwise, right? They should do that because you saying like, well, Israel is doing this, but also Israel wants to lock up Netanyahu, and he's avoiding it by staying in wars 24/7, right? It's just I don't know. All right, here we go.
Political survival. So I think it's those two factors together that account for what Israel is doing.
I wanted to get your reaction to some of the allegations of Joe Kent, who just resigned from the Trump administration over the Iran war. And in his telling, effectively, Israel came in and tricked, effectively, Trump into pursuing this path. He told Tucker Carlson yesterday, and clips, we're going to do a more fulsome review of this interview later in the show, but he told Tucker Carlson effectively they would bring in what appeared to be faulty intelligence to try to manipulate the president and his advisors, and that is ultimately the reason why Trump launched this war. What do you make of those allegations, and how does that match with the reporting and the thinking you've done about the way that Israel operates in the U.S.?
I have no doubt that Joe Kent is correct, that it was Israel and the Israel lobby that led us into this war. I mean,
Well, yeah, he read your
Marco
book. and
Rubio, the Secretary of State, and Mike Johnson, the Speaker of the House, said as much immediately after the war started. They made it clear that it wasn't the United States that took the initiative in starting this war. It was Israel that took the initiative.
I trust
and
Mike
Israel,
Johnson.
in effect, dragged
Really
us
trust
in.
him. And Marco Rubio, too.
Furthermore, you want to remember that Lindsey Graham has admitted that he went to Israel and he coached Prime Minister Netanyahu on how to convince President Trump to go to war against Iran.
My brain is breaking. Lindsey Graham, the Trump whisperer, Lindsey Graham. My brain breaking.
Is he saying that Lindsey Graham was smart enough to teach something to Netanyahu, but he couldn't just do it himself, talking to Trump?
Listen, weird. I'm fucking wrecked, man. What?
Trump's not going to listen to Lindsey Graham, but Lindsey Graham has the 411 on this fucking Iran issue. And Netanyahu's the perfect guy for Lindsey Graham to go talk to convince Trump.
I think all we listen to are people calling Trump the dumbest president of all, like the dumbest person ever, I think.
Except for Lindsey Graham's a little bit dumber, and he couldn't do it. He couldn't convince him.
He's very strategic. He's very strong, muscular. Trump.
Lindsey's like, yo,
I can't get past that. Screw the whole Israel is in charge, America's in charge. Lindsey Graham is the fucking common denominator here that needed to get shit done.
Lindsey Graham's
This
like,
guy's writers.
Lindsey Graham's like, yo, listen, yo, BB, I got a meeting with Trump tomorrow, but like, listen, I'm gonna tell you, and you tell him in like a week to get this shit done. You know what I'm saying? Like we need to fuck
John
Iran
Bolton, Mike
right
Pompeo failed. John Bolton, Mike
Lindsey
Pompeo failed. Lindsey Graham got it done.
Like, listen,
John McCain died too early. He couldn't do it.
listen, Trump only listens to Israelis. You know what I'm saying? So like, let me tell you to tell him to do the shit I want him to do. You know what I'm saying? The ultimate hustler of all time, Lindsey fucking Graham. This is brilliant.
Did this guy skimp on the story writers? Like, is he like paying too little? Like they screwed him over.
Yeah.
The other guys have like, they're more consistent.
Yeah, but Jesse, the theme is Trump is dumb as shit. Is the theme of all of it. The theme of every little story that all these guys are saying, as far as excuses, in favor or against, whatever. They're all saying this guy's dumb as shit, and all I have to do is like approach him a certain way, and you'll do what you want.
I think they are saying. I think you're correct in that they're all excuses, but they're still. They don't say he's dumb.
They don't say it in words, but they're saying it in words. Can I put it that way?
They're saying it. They're. Well, yes, if you like really clearly look at it, but if you just follow the narrative, it's like it's like it's not his fault, is what their narrative is. It's an excuse for him.
At this point, like, who's holding Trump's dick in the bathroom when he takes a piss? Who's holding it for him?
Does that mean? Does
He's
that
that
mean
stupid?
that?
Who's tying his shoes? He's that stupid, apparently.
Does that mean the next time John Bolton and Lindsey Graham have dinner together, that John Bolton has to pay?
No, it's trading places. Like, you won the bet. All right, here's $1. Congratulations, you won. Oh my god. All right, I'll back up. Pause. Hit Lindsey Graham, the genius Lindsey Graham, dictating our foreign policy to Israel to dictate back to the U.S. anyways. What the fuck? All right, here we go. All right, here we go.
That cost Americans how much in fucking private planes?
He went to Israel and he coached Prime Minister Netanyahu on how to convince President Trump to go to war against Iran. You just want to think about that. Here's a U.S. senator saying that he was coaching Prime Minister Netanyahu on how to get President Trump to go to war against Iran. In other words, President Trump needed coaching because his basic inclination was not to go to war against Iran. And then if you look at what was happening inside the United States, all you have to do is look at the two principal individuals who were advising Trump on whether or not he should go to war. Jared Kushner and Steve Witkoff, who are passionate Zionists. In fact, Jonathan Powell, who is Britain's national security advisor. This is Britain's national security advisor. He was present at the negotiations that were.
Did he say Jared Kushner and Steve Witkoff are telling him not to go to war?
No.
Did he just say that?
No. He's saying the opposite.
Oh, I thought he was saying they were holding him back.
Listen, John Mearsheimer is on Twitter 100% because he's reading off of Twitter fucking headlines. He's doing it. He's about to say the British guy said, like, yeah, these guys are Israeli assets. British guy that was present during the negotiations between Iran and the U.S. has said that Jared Kushner and Steve Witkoff are Israeli agents. He's about to say it. He's Twitter. Watch. Here we go. Watch.
On whether or not he should go to war. They were Jared Kushner and Steve Witkoff, who are passionate Zionists. In fact, Jonathan Powell, who is Britain's national security advisor. This is Britain's national security advisor.
What did he say?
He was present at the negotiations that were taking place between Iran and the United States right before the war. And he describes Kushner and Witkoff as Israeli assets. Just think about that. The two principal advisors to President Trump.
It's fucking Twitter, dude. It's like, yo, breaking points. Yo, pay me. I'll put a wig on. I'll do some like old man makeup. I'll do whiteface. I don't care. I'll put a suit on. Let me be John Mearsheimer for your episode. Just pay me for it. That's all.
Wait,
I could say exactly everything he's saying. I could say them. Watch your mouth. Pay me. I'll do it for you. Call me Dr. YellBro. And it's just like, oh, this guy's a foreknown expert on foreign policy. He's a genius on foreign policy. Please pay me. I'll do it for you. I'll repeat Twitter to you if you want me to. All right, here we go. I'm just saying, like, unless he was like the discoverer of all this information, which I don't think he is. It's just like you can find us on Twitter. Well, I don't get it. But there's no like thinking. He's just repeating the factoids. There's no like thinking behind it. You know what I'm saying? Like where it's like, yeah, I've heard that, but like, here's what I think. It's more so like, here's what I think, factoid, instead of the opposite way around. Fuck my life, dude.
So he doesn't have like direct information about this. He's getting it from where everybody else is getting it from.
Yeah, like I swear to God, John.
Seems like it.
John 456 on Twitter could do his job right now. I'm just saying.
Wait, so Jared Kushner and Steve Witkoff couldn't talk to Netanyahu, and then Netanyahu, it had to be Lindsey Graham with the strategy.
No. Jared Kushner and Steve Witkoff talked to Iranians, and they purposely, fumbled the fucking negotiations, and then went back to Trump and said, like, yo, man, these guys will not negotiate.
No. You didn't hear Meshner. He said it required Lindsey Graham with some kind of magical miracle strategy to talk to Netanyahu. That Jared Kushner couldn't say this to Netanyahu, and then it go back to Trump. It was Lindsey Graham's magical intelligence, just pure brilliance, that required him to fly over there.
No, Dubster, you're missing the point here. You're missing the point. Listen. These guys, everyone surrounding Trump had to collude with each other to trick Trump into following Netanyahu's orders. It's not just Lindsey Graham. Okay, he's a cog in the wheel. Okay, they all had to work hard to break down the psyche and the intelligence of this massive genius, like master negotiator, Trump, to get him to do something that he would never do otherwise. According to my TV, apparently, that seems to be the case, I guess.
You remember The Simpsons, obviously, and Bart's job was just to push a button. That's where we're at with this explanation.
But he's not alone. This seems to be like the median for the explanation for what's going on. Like he is.
I know, but that's at the end of the day. All these people needed to talk to Trump just so he would push a button.
It's almost word for word what he's saying. Like these things are so repeated. Like the topic of Trump not wanting to go to war, but he somehow like
against his
I
better
think about
instincts.
like his tweets, right? Like so the last one I think I saw yesterday was about him talking about devastation that was never before seen. Like he's threatening, he's threatening there, and then there's the ones where there's the tweets about like dropping the bombs, like videos of just killing people. Like that's what I'm seeing him say, but everybody else is telling me he doesn't want to do war. Just somehow gets tricked into it.
He makes deals.
Meanwhile,
over and over.
In reality, you got videos all the way back to the 80s of Trump actually saying, yeah, I hate that we fucking didn't handle Iran after the 79 issue.
It's a mixture. I think, is he campaigning or is he not? Is it advantageous to say certain things or not? Well, let's be real. That guy doesn't give a fuck. He does not give a fuck, bro. In my humble opinion.
No, I'm saying like everybody's calling him dumb as shit, and he's being tricked into this. While in reality, since the 80s, on camera, Trump has been saying, I hate that we didn't fucking have the balls to fucking handle Iran after they kidnapped our fucking people in 79.
Yes, but he said both sides, both are different ideas in regards to the same topic throughout the years before he even ran for president, right? And it's like the point is like this guy does not give a fuck. That is the overall point I'm getting. But these guys are like, oh my God, Netanyahu sat him down, gave him some warm milk, and read fairy tales to him, and said, "Yo, we're gonna do this." All right, whatever you say, baby. Yeah, okay. What happened to Jack and the Beanstalk? What happened? Here we go. Let's fucking get this over with, man.
And remember, President Trump said that he was going to take his cue from those two individuals as to whether or not he should go to war against Iran.
Oh, he said it in the
Were
headlines.
seen by the British National Security Advisor as Israeli assets. Truly remarkable.
Oh my God.
This is just the tip of the iceberg. I could point to all sorts of other evidence that it was
basically.
Israel and it was the lobby that
Oh yeah, let's go back to my book,
President
The Lobby.
Trump into this
I'm just,
war.
And why
I'm
do you
sorry.
think they succeeded with this president?
It was the name of my book. They can buy on Amazon.
You heard about it? The Lobby. Also available on Kindle. So
Hardcover is $10 more, but like you can get the digital version if you want to.
we're getting an audiobook and hear my voice reading it to you.
It all goes back to my book I wrote.
Mm-hmm.
You need to buy it.
Miraculously.
Let's buy it. All right, here we go.
Does Breaking Points get the label of independent journalism and not mainstream?
Yeah, I believe so.
Yes, they do. And it's like they're doing, like you said before, the aesthetic of mainstream, but the idea is the personalities are free thinkers.
Mhm.
I hope I don't know. I hope they mean well. I really do. But they would be like, when it comes to like Trump being a dumbass, being duped by every fucking official that enters his fucking doorway. I mean, these guys are at the doorstep of that, aren't they? Like, if you guys mean well, you guys do no fucking thinking on your programs at all, do you?
That's the thing. Are they being tricked by this guy, or does it just kind of work for the show?
Listen, I don't know if this guy's trying to do tricks or anything like
He's
that.
someone that they refer to, like that. I feel like that whole ecosystem, independent media, political analysis, for like foreign policy stuff in terms of the Russia and Ukraine stuff and Israel lobby, quote unquote, TM, Israel lobby TM, Mearsheimer. He's someone that is like very much cited, like in that ecosystem.
Him and Jeffrey Sachs are like the thing.
And Jeffrey Sachs and just sometimes Scott Ritter, depending, but definitely Mearsheimer.
Yes.
So they just defer their brains to him as like an authority.
Yeah. Yes.
And
He's kind of like the Noam Chomsky of like that.
Exactly. It's kind of like in this new era. It's like he's like Chomsky now.
Yeah.
In a way, like oh my god.
And he's just going to Twitter.
No, I'm not saying he goes. I'm just saying like he's reading just headlines as facts. Instead of,
or possibly he's been writing about that stuff and that's what he actually like maybe some of his shit is being I don't know, but because I have heard him talking about like Trump because he considers himself a realist, right, from in terms of foreign policy, so it's like kind of working within the fucked up established rules and paradigm, making deals, negotiations, whatever. So he's very like quote unquote pragmatic.
That one I can't go with pragmatic because it's even if he
that's what he says.
Okay, fair enough. Even if he believes that for himself, it's like where's the critical thinking surrounding the topic itself? You're just affirming things as factoids to people that are not even questioning you. It's like you're talking to two people that are not going to question.
I think that if you don't, I genuinely think that like you do have to frame it in that way, and that's not excusing him, but like if he doesn't frame it like that, he's not sitting here talking to us.
I guess so. Okay, fair enough, but
not that that's a reason to do that. It's more of like I think because he's talking like this, whether he believes it or not, that is the reason why he's here talking about this. Because if he's just going to be like calling it all out, like who's going to fund that? Who's going to publish your book?
Fair enough.
Publish, okay, but like I'm saying, he's like an institutional, kind of from the political science / economist realm, like in University of Chicago.
Yeah.
Like so it's just
I say fair enough, but I'd be like, what's our point? What's the point of being alive if you're not gonna go there? Like, really go there then?
Fair.
Otherwise, what are we doing? I guess to sell your book. At that point, it's like, okay, I guess we're here to sell your book.
I don't even think it's to sell anything anymore. I think he's just become like a fixture, like a I don't know. It's like he's part of the fucking like furniture of the alternative media like lobby.
Well, you're saying like he has to talk a certain way in order to get people to read his book, in order to get them to read like the little
No, I
nuanced
think
ideas of things, right? Possibly.
no, I'm saying because he frames it a certain way is why he is elevated. Because there's plenty of people talking about politics and kind of doing this type of work within universities and stuff, but they're not all getting like New York Times bestsellers. You know what I'm saying? Like they're
Yeah.
not getting the same kind of clout like advising roles. No. Like that's not how that works. But because he frames it in a very specific way where it's like it's almost like he's just talking about it as like a
Cookie
strategic
cutter.
thing. It's not like he's not making like judgment calls necessarily.
Fair
I don't
enough,
know.
but like,
Yeah.
there's clearly a better way to do all that.
Of
Clearly.
course. That's what but I'm saying like the reason why he's here is because we're sick. He's just like like we're sick people. And like
I think that's the best statement I've ever heard you say. Like, well, we're here because like we're sick. Like that's
like look at this.
This makes perfect sense. Like we're sick. Like, so you know, that's brilliant. Like,
That's
yeah, I can't argue with that one. That's I agree.
Yeah, just another manifestation.
We need microwaves, factoids. Otherwise, we wouldn't hear it, right? We need to ignore it.
No.
Maybe it's too long-winded, or
It is. He needs to say the certain keywords that they've like conditioned the audience
Yeah.
to. You know what I mean? Like they need their slop. Their slop. They need it. Like, yeah. So they're just waiting by the trough, like pigs. Like it's just more, please.
Fuck my life. Yeah, Mr. Mearsheimer, listen, man. I'm tired. I get some sleep, man. Like, make your fucking point, all right? Thank you. Just say the thing I wanted to hear, anyways. Thank you. Let's move on. Next. All right.
That's all he needs. Trump's trying. he off
There's no
the
excuse for that
fucking
one.
top.
No
Off
excuse
the
for that
top, he came in and he said, "What did he say?" He was like, he said something about Trump. Like, I can't believe Trump would do that. I mean, this is insanity. It's like, and you're the expert on
Trump doesn't
fucking
want to do
foreign
this.
policy
He doesn't want to do
matters?
this. Someone else is. They're making him do
He's
this.
like, it's
They lied to him.
unbelievable. I can't like. It's actually not unbelievable. It's very predictable. It's like, yeah, like it actually makes sense. You know, so it's not an aberration. Like, anyway. But yeah, talk to us. Go ahead,
All right, here we go.
Mearsheimer.
By the British National
John.
Security Advisor as Israeli assets. Truly remarkable. This is just the tip
Truly
of the iceberg.
unsweated.
I
Shake
could
your
point
head
to
like
all
that.
sorts of other evidence that it was Israel and it was the lobby that pushed President Trump into this war.
And why do you think they succeeded with this president? Where with other presidents,
why?
obviously,
Why?
I mean, I know
Why?
he's one of the
Tell
first
us.
40 years is fulfillment of his greatest fantasy.
Shut the
Trump
fuck
is not
up.
the first U.S. president to get pressured towards a war in Iran. What was it about
why would
him
they
or
do this to us, our country? Like, I'm so sick of this. Like, I'm like at a certain point. Like, what is it?
We are Mystery Theater 3000. Just like, look how stupid these 70s movies are. Like, look how corny they are. But it's like real time, though.
Did you see Soccer's face? Like, why? Like, why? Why? Like, why? Like, I want to fucking punch him in the face. I want to kick him in the face. I want to kick him in the mouth. I'm sorry, like figuratively. You know what I mean? Like,
I think
it's a very punchable thing to do. Like, it just irritates me.
I just
feel
think
like
it's
he drools at night too. I don't know. I'm just anyway. I'm just being hateful. I am being hateful. But proceed.
It just feels like someone's like locked in to where everything we're saying is I don't think they can like compute. So they actually, I think there's like a lash out that happens in regards to like regular audience members like watching this stuff, and they're like, oh my, like he's like the forefront of knowledge about this topic. Like, who the fuck are you? Like, almost like,
How dare you disrespect him?
how dare you? Exactly. How dare you?
So do you support the lobby?
Exactly. It's just,
Do you work for the lobby?
it's fucking mind
The
blowing.
lobby.
It is mind blowing. All right. Actually,
And it's
good.
what I think is this is just more people who can't accept, for whatever reason, can't accept what their country has always been.
Yeah.
I think there's a lot of that in regards to all this stuff.
Partially.
And this is a convenient. Well, and I think it's very much sensational for the most part, but there's a lot of maybe American pride in regards to certain things. But a lot of it is like, oh my God, it's like scandalous. It's kind of scandalous. I think it's more so like entertainment almost of why people get locked into certain areas. And if you say otherwise, I guess you're what? You're in the way? Like, dude, get out of my way, bro. Candace is on. Step back. You're in front of the TV. Move. I don't care what you're saying right now. Get out of the fucking way. We're watching TV right now. Shut up. Basically, it's like, it seems like
because like what you're saying doesn't jive with either whatever slop they're being fed from whatever side, like in terms of. So it's like, what are you talking about? Because you're not like that paradigm doesn't even like kind of observing that and then making a judgment call based on like I'm looking at everything and this does not make sense. Like I can incorporate
Almost
this
like-
and this and like, you know, but to them it's just like, no, like you're not like, are you with us or against us? Like, are you
It's
for
almost like
the
the same
Israel
world.
lobby?
It's almost like the
Sorry,
same
what'd you say?
world, but like, as I was saying, it's almost like the same world, but like two different universes.
Yeah. In other worlds.
yeah, but like, what is that at the core of it? It's almost like it's listen. If they were, I don't know, questioning everything that they ever thought, or like everything was wrong or something like that, right? Like it's a different experience. It's not the same as like feeling comforted or like the problem is something outside somewhere. Like it's over there. That's the problem over there. It turns into like a form of entertainment in a way, I think, at some point. If they don't like try to evolve from that. I've been there. Right? Where it's like, oh my God, what's happening in the world? Oh my God, those guys are doing that, right? Then it started pointing inward in my experience. But if you just stay there, it becomes over there, over and over again, and you're like kind of watching it from the outside, and it almost like plays like a role of like entertainment, like it's them over there doing something. It's and you memorize the factoids and repeat them as like it's them over there, it's them doing it, and here's not my hero, but like a guy who's saying the things like, yeah, it is out there, it's over there. What about America? Listen, this guy could be saying like, yeah, Trump did this, Trump did that, fuck Trump, he's doing like that could be also a form of it as well.
Oh yeah.
Meanwhile, like if like, hey man, all I did was vote, okay, nothing to do with this. All I did was vote, or all I did was like say like, well, you know, whatever. Trump got almost assassinated, okay, so like he can't
God.
whatever the idea
Butler,
is.
Pennsylvania.
Exactly, whatever the idea is,
Worse.
some sort of compromise somewhere, or hey, I voted Kamala, so your fault. It's like constantly pushing it towards someone
Some of us
else.
did the right thing. Like there is that narrative as well. It's like
But when it like
some of us made the right choice.
sometimes it gets bearing down towards like, fuck, I'm stuck here. They pivot anyways, and pivot to something else. Like, oh, over there. Look over there. They tricked me. Almost like these guys are saying like, oh, Trump got tricked. It's almost like passing the buck to a different like galaxy level is what we're seeing right now. It's like, yeah, we got tricked by Trump, but don't worry, we didn't get tricked by Trump. Trump got tricked by Israel. So like that's what happened. You know what I'm saying? Like I didn't get tricked. He got tricked. Tom Brady tore his Achilles, bro. That's what happened. I didn't make that happen. But if he was healthy, he'd be good. But he's not healthy because that fan ran out on the field and like fucked his whole stride up. You know what I'm saying? And tore his Achilles. Trump was good, but like Netanyahu showed up. You know what I'm saying? And like fucked his shit up.
But some people will make the argument, and again, it's not a dig at Amy, but like they will make the argument that, well, isn't it a good thing that like this is being exposed? In terms of like, years ago you weren't allowed to talk about this stuff. Like people are silenced and that's true. Like, but I'm just saying like that is gonna be the counter, I feel like, with
that's not gonna work.
Or one of the counters, right?
Not gonna work. Like what were you guys like predicting that? Or even more so to what you're saying as a point. Which is like, well, yeah, it's happening, but like, isn't it a good thing because it led to this?
Yeah. Where it's like the intention doesn't mean anything, which is where the conversation would go in terms of like,
well,
all that matters is consequences, right? Like not necessarily like the intention.
Well, you could say that with any like, that's almost Matt Hunter logic. Like, hey, man, those guys, like, listen, they bombed that school of those little girls in order to realize that they shouldn't bomb schools with little girls in them. Like, okay, wow, what a revelation! Logic,
but it's like,
wow.
But I wouldn't say that Amy is motivated by the same. Like, I wouldn't say,
no,
like,
I'm just saying that.
Yeah.
I'm just
saying.
But
no, I'm just saying, like,
yeah, that
just
never
that they
happened,
use the same
and you need
fucking
to stop
logic,
talking about it.
Sorry, what'd you say?
A bombing never happened.
What did you say, Harrison? I apologize.
He's being
Iranians don't send girls to school, son. You're stupid.
He's being stupid.
Oh, okay. Sorry. I'm so sorry that I wasted my time asking what you said. I apologize. I will never get that time back.
They might not, but that was like an upper echelon type school where like generals kids were.
Do not even dignify that with a fucking answer. I swear. Do not get him. Please. Please. It was strictly to troll. Anyway, I forgot what
But anyways,
what
you guys were saying, that's why I've been of the mindset that like whatever particular group somebody blames for like the problems that we find ourselves in, it's like you have more to do than the particular group you're blaming. If you want to blame one group or one thing or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
It's like that's why I don't even like blame like rich people or like corporations anymore for our problems, because it's like they're born of like the same place that I'm born of. The same society, the same culture, the same psyche.
In a way, yeah. But I mean, we gotta figure out, peccadillos, like what are people doing and why are they doing it outside of just strictly politics, which is, well, you're rich, that's why you're doing this, or you're poor, that's why you're doing that. It should be like, you, Bob, as an individual, why are you doing what you're doing? If the answer is, well, listen, man, the man's holding me down, that's why I'm doing what I'm doing, is not good. It's not good enough answer. We're too late in the game. Too late in the fucking day, man. The sun is setting. Let's not bullshit. Let's get right to the fucking point. But instead, it seems like when we start having a more of a there's the idea of like a collective conscience, like a conscious mind collectively, right? Now we have actual like feedback of a collective conscious, which is the internet, right? Essentially, and message boards and social media and all that stuff. And what do we do with it? What do we do with it? Fuck it. We just create another more facades, just more facades that we were already doing anyways, right?
Yeah, you make AI generated content of like black people eating chicken or like storming a fucking shoe store. No, I'm serious. It's like, I don't know. It's like pretty boring, basic stuff.
At least before, people copied their friends, their family, stuff like that, right? People close to them. Now they just copy like John Mearsheimer.
Well, for me, Hickory, I'm gonna call that a problem too. If they're just copying their family, that's how it leads to this. And it's gonna go here anyways, because people want to feel independent and break out at some point, I would think. But their idea of breaking out is, hey, I can remember what John Mearsheimer said the other day, and just say that again. But maybe like earlier it was like, hey, I found this guy, but no one knows about no one knows him, right? So I can repeat this stuff. But no one will know that I'm saying his stuff. Then it breaks out into like, now everyone knows this guy, but you're not in unless you know this guy's words, right? It's like, yeah. So I fit in still there, right? I'm one of the smart people because I know Mearsheimer's points or talking points or whatever the fuck or whatever. I'm not trying to single him out.
Yeah, like it can't just be you who knows about it. There has to be like some sort of relational thing where it's like, oh, you know too. Like in a way, like you need that witness, right? Like in terms of this like thing that other people don't know about, but you know about. It's like, well, you'd have to also observe it with somebody else as well for it to be a thing.
Like an
None of
inside
that's like
joke.
how it should work, but
Yeah, exactly.
I would imagine because we're just very relational creatures. So.
And yes, like an inside joke, basically. But it's like,
yeah, you're just gonna have an inside joke with yourself. Like I don't know. I mean, you could, sure, but I don't know.
it's just we need to move beyond the feel goods. That's a lot of, in my opinion, that's why I call out the idea of strictly being in politics or political thinking. It's we need to move beyond feel goods. It's over. Feel goods or feel bads too. Feel bads too, by the way. Or it's like, I'm fucking angry about this thing over here. We all, huddle around the fucking campfire about this angry thing, the thing we don't like. Right? Fuck that too, man. We need to get to like the real at some point. Otherwise, we're just running in circles, honestly, and getting nowhere. And easily taken advantage of, honestly, if you're stuck in that and stuck in those mindsets. It should be like, what is real? If it ain't real, if I'm not trying to like aim for the realness or anything real about something, like, what's our point? Circle jerking? You feeling good because, we agree on a topic, or feeling bad because or feeling angry because we disagree on a topic. Be something bigger than that. Like, what is, like, let's nip this shit in the bud because, once again, it's too fucking late in the day, man. It's way too late in the day. And this shit right here we're watching, once again, no offense to them, they may be mean well, right? But, like, this cannot persist as the medium for discussing ideas. This cannot be the medium. It can't be fucking ESPN, pardon the interruption style format. That can't be the thing. And a guy with 10 million degrees behind his back telling me shit I heard on Twitter. It can't be that, man. It's gotta be something else. It's gotta be like, yo, who the fuck are you, John Mearsheimer? It can't just be like your expertise on the Israel lobby. Like, who are you?
Yeah.
You don't get
Well,
there.
check my publications.
Fuck.
It's like, okay.
Well, it's Dave Smith debating the merits of, genocide in Gaza versus Dave Smith talking like, hey, this guy will lie to continue the genocide in Gaza. He'll lie about it. Dave, what do you do about it? Well, actually, he's wrong. See, like, actually, in this memo in 2024 says this. Like, I get why it's brought. Like, that makes sense to bring up topics and factoids and shit like that. But, like, there needs to be a point behind it. The point is to showcase that you're a fucking liar. That's why I'm bringing it up. To showcase that Douglas Murray, you're a fucking liar. Or whoever anyone's talking to. That's the point. Because we can't fall for liars anymore. That can't not be a thing. That can't happen. It cannot happen. Liars that make us feel good or liars that make us feel bad. We can't accept either one because they're lying. They're liars. We need to be done with that shit. Joe Kent said, like, Israel's like, it's them doing it. I think he's lying. Maybe it makes you feel good about yourself or about the ideas you already thought, but he's still lying to you. Just as much as Douglas Murray is saying, like, no, it's not Israel. This is not genocide. It's war. Lying to you, but it made you feel bad. Either way, they're both dismissed to me. Not as human beings, but like, bullshit is dismissed. Whatever. Here we go. Back up.
his administration or the tactics that they used
Get 'em, Crystal.
that allowed them to
Let 'em know.
succeed here where they had failed in the past?
Well, first of all, there's the possibility that they have information about President Trump's past behavior that they're using
he's
to
blackmailed.
blackmail him.
Oh, yeah.
We have no hard evidence of that. I want to make it clear. But just watching this unfold, it does seem like that might be the case because President Trump is so beholden to the Israelis. It's really
That is a nonsense bullshit fucking answer. Because of the way he's behaving, he has to be beholden to Israel somehow, right? Probably. Like, no. Maybe he's corrupt too? Maybe? Maybe Trump's corrupt too. And it's like, yo, Crystal, let him know. Hey, yo, Crystal, what if you're talking to a liar? What's up? What do you do about that? Well, he's saying the things we need him to say right now. He's saying things I like. Because the bad guy's Israel right now. But, all right, here we go.
just watching this unfold, it does seem like that might be the case because President Trump is so beholden to the Israelis. It's really quite amazing.
Yeah, it is.
But I think the two other arguments that you can put on the table are, number one, that the Israelis actually convinced him that Iran was a paper tiger and that it could be easily brought to its knees. You want to remember that before the war started, when President Trump had moved the Armada into the Middle East, Steve Witkoff said that President Trump was surprised that the mere presence of the Armada and the threat that that Armada might be used against Iran didn't bring the Iranians to surrender. He thought that the mere threat of force would coerce the Iranians into surrendering. That tells you he thought that this regime was very weak. He thought it would fail quickly.
No, it doesn't.
And this, by the way, is why President Trump didn't accept the arguments that this would be a long war and that the Iranians were likely to shut the Strait of Hormuz. He has said that he was told that the Iranians were likely to shut the Strait of Hormuz, but he just didn't believe it because he thought we would win a quick and easy and decisive victory.
Lying or an idiot.
So I think President Trump was primed, mainly through the Israelis, to think that this was going to be an easy
He's like shaking his head up and down, trying to convince himself.
I think the Venezuela precedent gave him the impression that he could float like a butterfly and sting like a bee. What he did in Venezuela.
This is what Alex Jones was saying.
I swear I just said that the other day.
Right?
I said the Muhammad Ali line the other day. Whatever.
Isn't this what Alex Jones was saying too? Where he was like, yeah, they made him confident. I mean, it's not just him.
Yes.
But there was, like, they built up his confidence with
Yes, that is
Venezuela and
literally Alex Jones. He said Venezuela made his ego balloon, made him feel like I can do whatever the fuck I want. So you know what? Let me just like run Iran down because listen, the mullahs are actually bad. They are bad, but you know, prolonged war with Iran is not good for an Alex Jones. And Trump was tricked into thinking that they ballooned his ego. He thought he'd just do whatever the fuck he wanted, and things didn't work out that way. Thanks, John Mearsheimer. Alex beat you to the punch. As far as what I've seen. Maybe Alex is copying him. Who knows? But this is lame analysis from the fortune teller of our times, right? About foreign policy. This is kind of lame, actually. That's okay.
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to leave and come back real fast. Listen, YouTube. Listen. I apologize for the marathon, but guess what? Every second is fucking worth it. I'm sorry. I'm going to say this right now. Once again, too late in the day. Us fucking ragtag buttheads of my Discord are better than the fucking so-called experts. How are we better than them? Just simple questions. We outflanked them by fucking nautical miles. Wrecked their shit. The Breaking Points fans won't know that Alex Jones said that already. They won't know, they will have no clue that he said
No,
that.
this will be a Mearsheimer thing, and then if Alex Jones repeats it, it's like, oh, he probably got that from Mearsheimer or whatever. Like, who knows? Maybe he did, but it doesn't. Yeah, it won't. Those two worlds won't meet in that way where they would question, like, wait, how would he say that?
Maybe all of Twitter's talking points all came from John Mearsheimer, for all I know. But I swear to God, what I'm hearing is Twitter talking points. I saw them already. Like, he's just unreal. As we know, like, Trump said, it's like, okay. It's like you're reading headlines to me. Thank you for saying the headline that we saw already, I guess, that I've seen out already, at least. Right? And it's just like something that someone else will realize or see before somewhere else. It's like, how are you outflanked by this much? How is this the case? But it is what it is. Someone will have the patience for 4 hours of video and get way more information than watching 30 minutes of fucking Breaking Points with John Mearsheimer or 30 minutes of Breaking Points with talking about Joe Kent and Tucker Carlson. We outflanked them too by a mile. Like,
Picking like the two fucking the two clips that they played, or whichever clips, just talking about Israel, like just 2-minute clips each from their 2-hour conversation, and like left out the entire context of the ass kissing.
Yeah,
that was done. Like you would think that like Kyle would be on that, right? Where it's like, look at this, fraud.
Kyle's busy. He's a busy guy.
With what?
He's busy with the demagnification of the world. That's what he's busy with.
Covering his roots, like making sure his hair's like crisp.
Well, it's like I wish I could like show my my thought process on the internet. I wish I could do that, but it's like the idea is like, okay, they said this, I'm going to question it. That's as simple as that. It's not something where it's like, oh my God, so fucking genius. Like, no, it's actually like, oh, well, my intuition says, like, that sounds weird. Let me look at it, or look into it, or question it. It's that simple. But, like, I don't know. Maybe it feels official coming from certain people. Shout out to Ed Lee. To the goddamn celebrities, yo. The celebrities. All right, let's apply. There we go. No one knows Ed Lee either. Like, we have that benefit. Others don't have that. All right, here we go.
This was going to be an easy victory. Then the other thing is, I think the Venezuela precedent gave him the impression that he could float like a butterfly and sting like a bee. That what he did in Venezuela, he could do in Iran. I don't think he fully realized, despite the fact that the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff was telling him that this was going to be an extremely difficult operation, and we really didn't have a good military option. President Trump just disregarded that. He thought that the naysayers said this before Venezuela, but I went out and proved that, we can do magical things in Venezuela, and I'll just do magical things again.
He's a narcissist.
Against Iran.
Yeah, he just thought he was a fucking leprechaun,
Venezuela together with the stories he was being told
doing
about
magical
how
things with my magical
weak
friends.
and how vulnerable the Iranian regime was. I think it was easy for him to pull the trigger.
Last question for you, sir, about the Straits of Hormuz. It appears that some sort of ground operation is.
Watch me Twitter.
I wouldn't say it seems potential with the deployment of all these troops. It would make sense in terms of the escalation ladder. I believe you've compared it before to potential to Gallipoli. What would that look like? What would that draw us into? Any sort of ground control operation on the Straits of Hormuz or on Karg Island?
Well, Karg Island is different than the Strait because you have to get through the Strait to get to Karg Island, unless you want to launch an attack from Saudi Arabia across the Persian Gulf onto the beaches of Karg Island, which I don't think we want to do. I think it's almost impossible to get through the Strait of Hormuz. I mean, it's
Unless you stay
very
next to
clear that
Iran's
you can't use
coastline,
naval force alone
which
to
means
get
you're an
through.
ally.
The U.S. Navy won't even go near the strait, and all the precedents in this regard say stay away. Ground forces, it would require a major operation. And even if you brought ground forces in and you controlled the terrain around the strait, the fact is it would still be exceedingly difficult for the Navy and for tankers and other kinds of ships, cargo ships, to get through the strait, in large part because there would still be mines at the bottom of the strait, lots of mines, which are easy for the Iranians to lay. And furthermore, the Iranians have all sorts of cruise missiles, ballistic missiles, drones, both sea-based and air-based, that they can use to attack any ships that come near the strait. So I'm not sure that even if you wanted to commit large-scale ground forces to try and surround the strait, that would solve the problem. And most importantly here, once you commit large-scale ground forces, you're in a quagmire. I mean, this would be disastrous. Trump clearly understands that putting ground forces anywhere inside of Iran, whether it's Karg Island, whether it's around the strait, whether you're talking about putting ground forces inside of Iran to try and capture that enriched uranium that they have, is a prescription for big trouble.
Well, thank you so much for joining us, sir. As always.
Okay.
Hmm.
All right. Hey, man. Iran war, big trouble. Bad idea. You know what?
Big trouble, little China.
I agree for way different reasons than Mearsheimer. But hopefully he means well. Hopefully. And, yeah. Good luck, guys. I'll say that for the political mindsets out there. Good luck to you. But I have, blatant moral reasons of why all this is wrong, and it already started of why it was a big deal of being wrong. It started many years ago from my personal experience of looking into politics, wait a minute, that's wrong. That should be stopped right there. But instead, it's looked at as a minor incident versus a relatively bigger incident. So thus, the entrainment psychologically starts happening in those moments. To where, oh, listen, he's just blowing up a couple boats in the ocean. Then it turns into, all right, listen, we're doing an operation to capture the leader, but hey, no U.S. troops died. Then it goes to something else, and on and so forth. One problem compiling to the next. And it's all based on relativity instead of your original stated principles. Right? Unfortunately. And that seems to be a cycle that people go through. I can not understand it in the sense of yeah, I get that. But in the sense of I get why dumb fucks do dumb fuck shit. That's my personal opinion. But you know what? It is what it is. I'll leave it there. There's your video. Please subscribe if you feel like. Comment, agree or disagree. Say your opinions out loud. Please go ahead. I'm sure the idea of saying oh, well, Mearsheimer's not saying much, or I don't exactly get his point because I don't hear him. I hear factoids being said. I know we can sit here and imply oh, well, listen, he means he's against the war because of the factoids he's pointing out, right? Just like with any other out loud talker, but it's too late in the day, man. Have people say their blatant perspective, blatantly say it. No more bullshitting. And I recommend you do that in the comment section if you want to. Only if you want to. I know we're a little skirmish, skittish, whatever. Please don't forget to share support. Hopefully donate to all the links in the description box. Also, please check out the Discord link if you want to join that. All opinions are welcome. We're in a Discord right now, so please do what you do. Everything I showed you will be linked also as well in that same description box to look at on your own and rabbit hole into other topics or ideas. Regardless of how simple they are, please consider the idea of like looking further into things. Don't be someone like lounged back on your lazy boy, just engulfing information, but not getting the point. You know, please do your shit, man. Like, be existential, please. I beg you to. Most importantly than anything else in life, give this video a thumbs down. A thumbs down. It's like a news guy right there.